Hi there, my name is Phixfox, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition, and today we're going to be doing the single-player scenario, Black Forest. This is going to be, I think, a pretty good map. I was really back and forth whether or not we were going to do a medium-sized map or a larger map. I really like the larger maps because there's lots of room to run, there's lots of stuff to do, items to pick up, some strategic advantages, and the game can kind of develop into a later game scenario. On the flip side, a medium map sometimes has a little bit more action, and it can be a little more tighter quarters, it can be a little more cramped, and that can force the action a little bit. Ultimately, I've decided that we're going to go with the larger sized map because, hey, I kind of like an epic adventure. So with that being said, folks, let's take a quick look at the stats here and just see what we're up against. This is going to be Black Forest. The scenario description reads as such: 4 lords vie for control of a forest land full of dragons and vagabonds. Oracle Tourney version, re-edited by Maker. It says 4 lords vie for control, but then it also has up here in the description how many players it is. It says it's 5. So it's going to be a 5-player large map. I guess that when we load up, it'll show that very immediately. It's denoted as a normal difficulty map, and it's going to be just a free-for-all, just kill them all and don't get killed yourself type of deal. And here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of players. We cannot play as the yellow player, so that might be some story element. That might be just one computer player that is always meant to play the spoiler. Very interesting, though, that this computer cannot be a specific faction every time. It is random. We could choose who our enemy is. I think that we're just going to leave it on random just so we can be nice and fun. Then we are left with the decision, do we stick with blue sorceresses, green knights, red warlocks, etc. I'm just going to let the dice roll decide through a quick series of dice rolls. We're going to see what we roll, and I know how this is working. Okay, so we're in the second half of things, and then it's the first half of things. Okay, and so the way that my dice roll indicated was, you know, lower half, and then lower half of the upper half. That means that we're going to go warlocks. It's a weird system. I should probably just get a dice that is specifically only a 4-sided dice for these things. It'll work. It'll work. It'll be just fine. And so, folks, it's going to be us against blue sorceresses, green knights, yellow whoever's, and purple necromancers. We will play as the red warlocks. And I'm excited to dive right in. Figaro17, hello and good luck and have fun. Sir, I'm excited for it. Let's have a whole ton of fun, and let's just dive right in. Okay. It is the will of your king that this land, heretofore known only as the Black Forest, becomes the next annex of his kingdom. You and your army succeeded in ousting a local dragon lord from his castle here, but not before he burned it to the ground and escaped. Now, as you rebuild the castle and modify it for your purposes, your spies report that some other lords have had the same idea as your king. Now, your enemies number more than a handful. Let me just check one thing real quick. That would have been so embarrassing. Folks, we didn't have the sound on. Let's make sure we got sound. That's pretty darn important. If at all there's any problems with video or sound, please do let me know. Oh, there's more text here. Of dragons. You must face the might of 3 other foes if you seek to control the Black Forest. If matters weren't already difficult, a rogue dragon has burned your mage guild to the ground in a surprise attack. He waits outside your castle now, taunting your men with his fireballs and promising that your new life here will be made difficult by his kindred. And there is a couple of red dragons. I assume that that's one red dragon. Looks like they're not necessarily guarding anything other than the road. We can walk right by them, but maybe they're going to be worth the experience if nothing else. Maybe we can get them to join. Instantly, I do see that our castle has a little bit more to it than might have otherwise met the eye. We start off with Hydras, we start off with Minotaur Kings, and I suppose that the choice here is, well, do you want to take the 2-speed Hydras on the road, or do you prefer to leave them at home just so that your adventuring speed can be a little bit faster? I think that if Barak is a level 1 hero, which it looks like he is with 0 attack, 0 defense, 3 spell power, 2 knowledge, then I don't really care if he's my main hero or if somebody else is my main hero. And so maybe it makes the most sense to have a 6-speed gargoyle on the map with him so he can travel as quickly as possible. And we're going to leave all these troops for another hero in just a moment. We have the choice more or less to go to the east or to the west. I think that the west looks just as good as the east. It is worth noting that we are starting in the upper right corner. And so maybe this could be a mistake. Maybe it'd be better to clear your corners and then push forward on the map afterwards. Because we're in the corner, I think I am actually going to go to the east. That just makes a little bit more sense to me. I'd prefer to know if there's something very important in this direction or not. Very interesting that the road sort of ends here. Was it this dragon? Did he burn down the forest? More than just my mage guild? Did he burn down the entire forest? If he did, then he has been a very busy dragon, and he really needs to take a chill pill, man. Hang out and don't do anything crazy. Early on, when I play on impossible difficulty, starting off with no resources, it always makes so much sense for me to take gold more than anything else. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take gold instead of experience. We're going to have Agar be our primary hero, and he's actually going to be the one that goes to the west here in just one moment. We're going to have an extra 1,000 gold tomorrow, so we're going to get the well now. That's going to drop us down to 1,500 gold. We're going to have an extra 1,000 gold tomorrow. That's going to be when we purchase Agar. And then that way we're still moving forward with developing our castle, but we are also doing our very best to get onto the adventure map with multiple heroes. On large maps, it is very important to have multiple heroes, in my personal opinion. There's just so much ground to cover. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. This is absolutely an information game. Heroes of Might and Magic is, at all points in times, an information game. Oh no. Thought that we had a fix for that. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be dropping stream back and forth occasionally, and I sincerely apologize for that. The fix that I had hoped would work and that I thought I worked out with folks here, maybe it won't work as well as I'd hoped. But we're going to do the very best we can. We're going to do the very best we can. So it'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. We're going to persevere one way or the other. And if worst comes to worst, all these videos are going to be made available on YouTube at some point. So Figaro, if you're still with me, I'd appreciate you letting me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that we are back. It's telling me that we're back, but it's kind of more important if you are actually able to see me or not. We're going to go through lots of rangers here at this time. And it looks like, though it's going to be costly, this probably looks like the best fight that we can probably take. We're going to see if we can do just a little bit better here than just what the AI says. I'm doubting that we can, but even just one curse can be pretty valuable. We're going to curse this bottom stack here, and we're going to try and attack this top stack of rangers. Yeah, thank you for that. I don't know why, but occasionally there's days when we have absolutely no problems with our connection here, and some days there are some major problems. You may know this from watching previous streams, but I am at the library. I do not have a fast enough internet that's available in my residential area, and so I have to actually travel to the library to do these streams, and sometimes it can get a little bit competitive with other people trying to maintain the internet. So it's kind of humbling in a sense, because if you look at my YouTube videos on YouTube, then you'll see that I really try and put a lot of effort into making them nice and neat and orderly and high quality wherever I possibly can. And I have to admit that sometimes that's just not gonna happen. And so it's actually a really good experience for me. Oh wow, that's insane. Is internet really that bad in your area? Yeah, I think I have like 0.5 megabyte upload speeds. So I think I get like maybe 2 megabytes download, but 0.5 megabyte upload. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't know if that's, I don't know where you're at, Figaro, but I imagine that you probably have a little bit better than that. I imagine you can at least, you know, do a little bit of uploading. From the sounds of it, you're saying, oh yeah, that's definitely a problem. Because 0.5 megabyte, I mean, I think that this stream right now, I think I'm putting out about 4/10 of a megabyte per second. That's what my upload speed is. That's how much data I'm transmitting out. And so with 0.5 megabyte upload speed where I'm at, it would be very inconsistent. Occasionally, it's just a little funky around here, but all the same, we'll get there. So long as the quality is fairly good, we'll be okay. And again, this is all gonna be available on YouTube later. I'm gonna wait on another hero. We chose not to bring the Hydras on the road, and that was a decision I made because even though they're valuable strategically, they're not gonna be super useful to prevent me from being slowed down. They will slow you down if you take Hydras on the road because they're a 2-speed creature. And thankfully, so far we've only fought one fight, and that one fight was against Rangers. There's no way that the Hydras would have been helpful in that fight anyway. So I'm comfortable knowing that we did our very best, and we're gonna move on and keep the Hydras at home for now. I am gonna get the nest, or we have 3,000 gold. We can either do another hero, Falagar, or we can get the nest. The fun thing about Warlocks is even though they're known as a late game kind of faction, early on, the cave costs gold and the nest costs gold. And then there's just a little bit of ore that's cost with the crypt. So I think that we're going to pick up the nest this week. It's day 4, but I'm going to pick up Falagar now because I think that one more hero on the map is going to be pretty useful. From Romania, I have 200 megabytes. Oh geez, somehow we have like the best internet in the world, really random. I am so happy for you. Like, I am thrilled to hear that. That, like, you think that I'd be like a little bit jealous? I'm not. I'm like actually really happy for you because having nice internet, I grew up in the time where dial-up was a thing. Maybe you did too, you probably did too. And it's fun to see how far we've come. I remember having to wait for like 24 gigabyte GIFs to load on the internet when I was trying to like watch funny pictures of cats and stuff. And now I'm sitting here just like, heck yeah, man, I can actually like talk to people through the computer screen. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? We've got some really interesting stuff going on here, folks. Rise to Ruin, hey Fix chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Figaro, I feel you with the slow internet. Same for me when I was a child. Yeah. Very glad to hear though that it's there. I never would have thought that Romania would have had better internet. I'm thrilled to hear it, really. That's a little interesting to me, you know? Here I am in, you know, in the North America. I've got Elon Musk over here trying to buff out my infrastructure, you know? Anyway, come on, Elon Musk, do better. We have 2,500 gold. I think we're gonna get to the nest in just a moment. We've just picked up enough ore to grab this statue. I think it makes a lot of sense to get the statue. We're not gonna get the maze on week 1. We're just too far away from those gems. Let's pick up the statue now, and then in 2 days, we'll have plenty of gold for our griffins. We have a very unique opportunity, folks. So we've just been talking and playing and kind of exploring the map with our 3 heroes. We're gonna have one more observation tower here. The Barak is gonna pick up very quickly. If we can defeat a pack of vampires, we have a free... What in the world? We have a free gold mine. Look at that! The vampires are guarding nothing. They're guarding nothing. I think that that was actually purposeful too. Look at this. There's a break in the trees. I think that that was purposeful. This looks to be like the kind of tree line that you can specifically hide things behind and make a little path for. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. We can get a free gold mine here. Steeson, how you doing, sir? This is Black Forest. This is a 5-player map. It's a large map. Pretty good so far. I'm enjoying this because I got a free gold mine. Sorceresses, Knights, Warlocks, Barbarians, and Necromancers. Good to know, actually, that the yellow player who was random is going to be Barbarians. So no special interactions here. It's all just a free-for-all deathmatch sort of a thing. Anyway, we're going to pick up that gold mine pretty quick, by the way. And we also have 2 towns, one barbarian town, and then what is this? This is a wizard town. It's pretty interesting. We've also spotted this gold mine here, guarded by only a pack of dwarves. We may have the opportunity to get a ton of gold very, very quickly. And I think that that's more my priority than even picking up this barbarian town. If it was a different type of town, maybe I'd get it, but barbarians, meh, not that big of a deal. Vampires, they just be chilling. Yeah, they are totally just chilling. And it's gonna be Barak who's gonna grab the observation tower and then the gold as he circles around. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know if that was intentional from the map designer or not. This gem mine looks tasty, but I'd love to come back with better forces. 5 Minotaur Kings can probably win the fight. I just don't want to put myself in a rough position. This gold mine is too big of a deal. We're gonna head back. We've got other people who can do scouting. For now, our priority is to pick up as much gold as possible. Probably pick up this ore mine, this gold mine, and here's our sulfur. We got to go through pikemen very, very quickly. There's going to be some interesting logistics to path around, but I think we can do it. What else did this observation tower kind of show us off in this direction? Looks like there's going to be a crystal mine. Not too heavy of defenders. These are all fairly low tiered creatures. There's a genie lamp right here. I almost missed this. Folks, look at this. There's a genie lamp right here. I don't have any gems, but that's a very interesting thing. I just saw a glint of something in the tree line, and there it is, genie lamp right there. Don't tell me that can't change your fortunes drastically. That might be a good enough reason to invest in a marketplace just so we can move forward and get genies sooner rather than later. But for now, let's fill out our town, pick up these sweet, wonderful griffins, these cute little birds. As far as pets go, by the way, birds seem to be one of my all-time favorites. Dogs, cats, they're great, don't get me wrong, but birds are smart and they're just so funky. Little funky dinosaurs hopping around everywhere. I love it. Making good progress along the forest road, you have occasion to see other travelers in small groups ambling in the opposite direction. Your party approaches a blind beggar, face shadowed by a cowl, cane tapping out his way along the roadside. Smiling, you lean down from your mount as you pass, tendering a coin for his cup. He throws back his hood and pulls a crossbow from his robe. He robbed you at bolt point. I thought that this was going in a nice direction here. I thought that we were going to be the good guy. Nope, we just got robbed. That's a little frustrating. This campfire, if it gives us gems, we're going to be feeling great. There's our genies right there, 4 gems. It's not going to be enough to get us our minotaurs anyway, so let's get the awesome troops now, and then we'll go from there. 1,500 gold or the experience. Again, we're just taking gold. Because we have Sulfur not too far away, we might be thinking getting Hydras in week 2, and so on and so forth. And truly, I think that that's going to be a pretty good idea. Steeson says, oh dang, I got hit by a bus when I played this one with the Green Knights. There was no wood. Oh, you didn't actually get hit by a bus. I thought you got hit by a bus. I thought you were saying, yeah, life update, I got hit by a bus. And I was like, whoa, Steeson, that's not okay, man. But there was no wood in a freaking map with a forest in its name. Love birds, like to get a phoenix pet perhaps? Dude, I'd love a phoenix. This makes me very sad though. This was supposed to be a free gold mine with 1 gargoyle. There's no way we're going to defeat this 1 paladin. We're going to leave this 1,000 gold per day. We have a possibility though. Look, we've got Medusa here. This is 5 Medusa. Did 5 Medusa beat 1 Crusader? Was it a Crusader or a Paladin? It was one of those, right? I think that 5 Medusa beats 1 Crusader easy. Just the hit points alone are going to do it. So, you know what? I hate to spend the gold like this. Let me make sure that there's no other purchases we have to make. I'd really like the waterfall. We're going to grab the waterfall. Figaro, for sure they beat him. Yeah. Yeah. It's 65 hit points if you're a Crusader, and the Medusa have 45 hit points each. So we're easily going to have the hit points to do it. Sometimes my brain just has to catch up and be like, wait a second, do we got this? Yeah, and in fact, if we wanted to be really fun with it, the more splits you have, the greater chance, your 20% chance of petrifying kicks in. So we'll get this now, and then tomorrow we're gonna come back with some nice gold. That's gonna be an extra 1,000 gold per day. And so 1,000 gold from our base growth. We're gonna have the town that's gonna get us a little bit more gold at the statue. That's 250 extra gold there. We're gonna have some opportunities pretty quick. Good play with the splits. I like splits. I like splitting the troops wherever I can, just for those reasons. Sometimes though, you will have people say Phixfox will occasionally oversplit his troops, especially when it comes to dragons, and I don't necessarily think that they're wrong. Occasionally I will put myself in a position where I might open myself up to taking some serious damage. Where I ought not to have. That gargoyle was a complete and utter waste. I shouldn't have done that. Steeson, sorry, can't keep watching. Wish you luck. Watch out for that bus. Dude, I will watch out for that bus. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Steeson. I will catch you around in the next one. And then this endless sack of gold. Extra 1,000 gold per day. Totally worth it. Worth every little bit that just happened there, especially for Barak, who is just a scout for us. Okay. And then, again, this gold mine is one of my priorities. I think that it makes sense to stop in. We'll pick up troops tomorrow and leave. We don't need that many troops. It's just a pack of dwarves. A few is 1 to 4. Several is next at like 5 to 9. A pack is from 9 to 20. And then 20 plus is lots. So we can beat that many. I'm wondering if this road is going to lead us into more rogues, more bandits who are just going to continue to rob us. That seems like it would make a lot of sense. Wood. Steeson says he sees wood. Yeah, I see it. It's all here. It's all forest. That's wood. That counts. Folks, that's the end of week 1. We are on to month 1, week 2, day 1. And I gotta tell you, I don't know if this is how this is always supposed to play out on this map, but it feels like we're doing pretty okay. I'm happy with what's happened so far. Especially having that 3rd hero. It could have been that I might have talked myself into only having 2 heroes, and that wouldn't have been so bad. We're going to accept that 1 loss there. I don't really need the Centaur. I say that, but I could have talked myself into only having 1 or 2 heroes, and I'm so glad I didn't. I probably would have for sure done 2 heroes, but that 3rd hero actually is going to be very, very helpful, I think. Thalagar hasn't done a whole ton, but even picking up 1 observation tower has been very useful. That observation tower right there. I do need to be careful though. He does have 3 Hydras, but we are getting to the point where we are probably encroaching on some other enemy's domain, and I would hate to lose a hero just for fun. That doesn't sound like a good time to me. It's the beginning of a new week. Let's pick up the dungeon. And now, folks, we are getting 3,750 gold per day. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. We have 3 nice heroes. We are still missing lumber, mercury, ore, sulfur, crystals, and gems. We're getting 0 resources, but we have opportunities. We just have to pick this up. So I think it's actually probably the best thing for me to bring Barak back so I can split my armies up a little bit. I do think so. Well, we got some stuff we can grab anyway. So sulfur, a little bit of extra gold, things like that. And there's an extra 8 ore. My next big purchase is going to be probably getting the Minotaurs. How much wood do I need? I don't really need wood. Funny enough, folks, I don't actually need that sawmill. I need the sawmill for a marketplace. I don't need a sawmill for literally anything else. All the rest of my buildings don't cost wood. So rather than go here and just hop on the sawmill, we're gonna go probably get the sulfur first because it also gets us the gems. We'll go through here, pick up this, go to here, and then somebody else can go with just a couple of troops and maybe beat those pikemen. That's my plan. We'll see how good of a job I do with that, but I'm gonna leave the sawmill for now. Let's see. Wow, what's up with that scenery? The one on the right side, where's the lava wasteland and grass all mixed up? Is this an official map? This is an official map. This came with the base level of, I think that this was this Price of Loyalty? I'm not sure if this is Price of Loyalty or if this was Secession Wars, but it comes with the base game for Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold. So it's a base one here. Rice Ruin says, who said money can't buy happiness or at least more Minotaurs? I like the way you think. In fact, I love the way you think. Lots of Minotaurs. Nothing sweeter. You meet a young lad, Ariok, on the side of the road who is traveling in the same direction. He asks if he may join your party. Ariok offers his services as a fine cook in return for protection from the many bandits who inhabit these parts. You consent, and that night he cooks an excellent repast from your rudimentary supplies. In the morning, your men complain of missing valuables. Ariok is missing, and so are your saddlebags. I don't know how much further up this road I want to go. We're gonna go just a little bit further. There's an observation tower. Thrilling. We're gonna hop onto this observation tower, and then we're probably gonna head back up north, and then those hydras can help us clear out more of our starting area. I'm starting to feel like we're falling a little bit behind. We'll be okay, but I'm starting to worry that we're falling just a little bit behind. I know I can get the swamp now. I'm gonna wait just for a little bit just to see if there's anything else I ought to get. Brock is a secondary hero, not worried about him. Save game or load game should tell whether it's the crown or shield version. Yeah, but I don't use saves, and it feels like if I do it now, like, even though it's not really me just like abusing the save, it feels like it breaks my personal code of ethics. Kind of rich of me to use my ethics. Autosave. Steeson, you're on your computer, right? Are you on your computer or are you on your phone? Steeson, I know that you're doing great with your teaching. You might be at work, so you might not have access to FHeroes2, which is a little bit sad. Oh, you're on your phone? Yeah. Okay. Let me just end this turn, and then I'll do that for you. I will do that for you real quick. 2,000 gold left. No other purchases to make. And we do see for the first time purple necromancers, which is pretty interesting. Real quick, just for Steeson, we're going to go to autosave here. That's going to pull up this last turn. Oops. Black Forest. I don't know where it's at. My guy. That's all the information I have right there. And here. So, sorry, I can't help you. You're going to have to check that out later, but I know it's with the base game, so I'm guessing it's with the Secession Wars. Something about the way this map feels, we haven't seen any indication. There's no artifacts that are specific to the Price of Loyalty. There's nothing that makes me think that it has to be the expansion, and yet something just feels like this is a base level game. Maybe it's how sparse some of the resources feel. I don't know. I could be fooling myself. You stumble upon a dented and tarnished lamp lodged deep in the earth. Do you wish to rub the lamp? I do. 2 genies. Big pickup. We are immediately a very wonderful force to be reckoned with. Everybody should fear us. What ethics, mister? My values are fairness. Proceeds to slaughter troops. He said he'd let go. I saw your last video, you monster. I felt so bad. I felt so bad. Rise to Ruin is saying that there was a point where I'd said, oh yeah, I'm gonna let the dwarves go. And then I accidentally clicked on slaughter them all, and I did. And I felt like the bad guy who said, you may go, leave. And then a hail of arrows follows them immediately and just obliterates them. It was very sad. Not even just a little sad. It was very, very sad. It's decent. I'm in my kid's bedroom, bro. She just fell asleep. Since you know play Sorcy gals, hey man, I don't make the decisions here. The dice roll decides for me what I do. The dice roll decides, and that's why I use the dice, by the way. I use the dice roll to decide certain things at times because it makes sense to me to not always choose what I think is most advantageous. That feels like a reasonable thing to me at times. And also, that way there's more intrigue with the map, I think. Hey, there's more left up to chance. Maybe you disagree, maybe the bonuses you take or the decisions you make, that's part of the strategy. But especially when this is a first time playthrough type of map, it always feels reasonable for me to just let it go, you know, and just let the dice roll decide, let fate have its way. And I will be supportive of whatever it decides. We did end up saving the 1 genie. We did lose the 1 Minotaur King there. There was just enough damage from these wolves. Wolves are tough, and we didn't have a great choke point necessarily to set up ourselves. 680 experience. I think that Agar is going to be our primary hero. He's got the bulk of the troops. He's the man. And so for that reason, let's pick up the wisdom. I don't think we're going to get wisdom very soon as far as like levels of Mage Guild, but I think that it's better to have than scouting. I know there's lots of map left, but better than scouting. Steeson says no dice. Can't remember what that originally means, but it means something like bad luck, I think. Yeah, no dice. I generally say no dice in the sense of like no chance, not gonna happen, no way, stuff like that. So yeah, no dice is a little bit of a slang term, but I sure enjoy it. I sure enjoy it. We are currently at day 5. It's gonna be day 6, day 7. We're gonna be up to 7 gems. If we can find 3 more gems, we've got a possibility of getting our Minotaurs. I'd love that. I don't know how likely it is. We'll see. Okay, there's a sign here, and if you know Phixfox, Phixfox must hop on signs wherever he can because they are flavor text, they are interesting, and I love every little bit of the signs. It says, Northwest is Lake Dragon, where avians of all assortments gather in peace to take a dip in the hot summer months. Southwest is Lake Foul, so called for its nearby inhabitant, a demon named Foul. Northwest is Lake Dragon. Birds are going to be there. And then down here, it looks like this is maybe that demon where Lake Foul is. There's an oracle right here. I can see just the tip of that. Is the oracle supposed to be kind of that thematic element? I suppose so. I really like that, by the way. That sounds really nice to me. I appreciate when they have fun little stuff like that because you can do some nifty things in the map editor. A surprise turn in the landscape finds you in the midst of a grisly scene. Vultures picking at the aftermath of a terrible battle. Your cursory search of their remains turns up an enchanted hourglass. Spells are going to last for 2 more turns. Excellent for a barbarian, excellent for a knight. It'll be all right for me. I'll take it. No worries. I think that, let's see. I don't think that we need to bring the Medusa in just yet. They're a good troop. I don't think I need to bring them in though. Not to this army. I don't know who they would replace successfully. This could be a crazy fight. We just have no information at all. Sometimes you'll come across a town that looks innocent enough, but it'll have tons of stuff in it, including tons of enemies. If that were the case here, we would be feeling pretty silly, but as it stands, it looks like we're going to be just fine. I don't want to fly these gargoyles over to these orcs to take the hit from 38 goblins. That just doesn't sound like a good time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can attack these wolves though for right now, and I will do that. 17 gargoyles down to 16. I think we might as well kill 3 to 5 orcs. They're not really the priority, but it'll work out. I'm gonna take a little bit of a hit on these griffins. 9 down to 8, and then they do their extra retaliation. That feels really good. Let's actually see if we can keep these wolves down, and we sure do. And from here I could hit Q, which someone asked me the other day, what does Q do? I say, oh, I hit Q, and then the battle just ends. Pathfinding, we're gonna pick up that. I think especially when there's navigation versus pathfinding, pathfinding just makes too much sense. When you hit Q in a battle, it will resolve the battle from that point on. And so it is a nice way to save a little bit of time. Sometimes I would prefer to show the end of the battle because people enjoy seeing it to the completion, but all the same, sometimes it just makes enough sense to say, this is a very one fight, we need not worry any longer. We do have Sulfur and ore to get here. I'm going to send Falagar up to deal with Veteran Pikeman with his 3 Hydras. This barbarian town does not factor into my plans whatsoever. This green tower, we're not as far away as we might think, but we have not seen any other enemies just yet. I am wandering into the unknown, and rather than pick up obelisks and +1s, I'm going to use Barak as a scout. I want to know if the enemies are coming in my direction long before they arrive. I need as much advanced warning as possible, and that's all the more reason why this observation tower here was such a great pickup. Such a great pickup. By the way, it would have been a very foul trick of the map maker to have made it so the bandits would steal from you every single time you passed, kind of like as a toll to use the road. You can set that up in the map editor to either have events like that be a one-time thing or a multiple-time thing. And so I'm very glad that it was actually just a one-time thing. It is not worth it to possibly lose Barak. It's not worth it at all. He's got the extra 1,000 gold per day. He's walking around with a gold mine in his back pocket. And so even if Troyanne looks like she's easy to defeat, I'm not going to risk it. It's just not worth the risk. This is one of those risk-reward types of deals. Could he beat her? Probably. Should I even risk it? No! When an extra 1,000 gold per day hangs in the balance, not a chance. I worry sometimes that, and I've mentioned this before, and people have told me, no, Phixfox, you do a great job talking about luck and understanding the role that it plays. I will sometimes worry that I have something of an embarrassment of riches when it comes down to my luck that I get in these games. For example, rolling an extra 1,000 gold per day like that is kind of a big deal. One thing I worry about in today's age is the possibility of people manipulating the game, stacking the deck as it were. There's something very fun coming up, which I'm very excited for. Steeson, who's here in the chat or been in the chat, he's going to be competing, I believe, unless he's changed his mind. Maybe he will. It's his call. He's going to be competing in the Kelvin Open, and I don't know Ross from Kelvin's Coin at all. Unfortunately, I haven't spent a lot of time watching his stuff, but I appreciate very, very much the time that he has spent with Heroes of Might and Magic 2. He's done a great job in keeping the game going forward, and I like his approach to things. It looks like he's always trying to improve, and he has a great job in working with the people that want to support him. He's done a great job of being very personable, so I really, really like him, and I like what he does. He is coming up with a wonderful opportunity for people called the Kelvin Open, where he's going to have multiple people compete in a map. It's going to be Winterlands, which is a fun map. I've tried it out myself. And he already did the first playthrough of the Kelvin Open on Broken Alliance, which is an all-time favorite for anybody. And Steeson participated in the first iteration of the Kelvin Open, and I'm hoping that Steeson will do us the favor and participate again in the second iteration of the Kelvin Open, where it's the format. You can find it online. I'm not going to link it to you. I don't know where it's at. I don't know the specifics, but you know, really interesting to see, and kind of a fun opportunity for people to provide some entertainment for the rest of us and just have a nice fun time playing. But my fear is this: you can always get good luck naturally, or you could potentially go into the map editor and you could make things a little spicy for you, a little extra for you. You can't really do that in FHeroes2 so much because you can't necessarily edit old maps, but you can in the original Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold, for example, go into the map editor and give yourself some favorable fights if you're looking for a speed run or something like that. And I've kind of wondered in the past how often speedrunners do stuff like that, because you only see the one playthrough that they do. You don't see all the failed attempts. And if you were here for my stream when I did Pyramid, you saw that every single time we restarted, it was a brand new set of circumstance every single time. It was never the same from playthrough to playthrough. There was no, you know, we weren't picking up the grail in the same spot every time or anything like that. So I recognize though that people could abuse that, and I would hate it if people did. I could see people doing that because unfortunately people get a little bit too competitive in today's gaming environment. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Rise to Ruin says, Kelb is really fun to watch. He's like a silly pro player, does a lot of innovative ideas like 400 Bone Dragons and 400 Crusaders. Glad you guys know about each other. I don't think he knows about me. I don't think he knows about me. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I know just enough about him. I know him. I know Norovo? I don't know. He does Heroes of Might and Magic 2, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person that likes to watch a lot of streams. I will occasionally watch people's streams for people that I want to support. People that I like their personality, and I don't have a lot of time extra to watch people, but I don't mind supporting them, and so I'll try and go out of my way to make sure, oh, hey, look, they're streaming today. I'll want to go and check them out and stuff like that. So even though I'm not much of a watcher, I do appreciate other people because, hey, man, they're keeping Heroes of Might and Magic alive, right? They are keeping Heroes of Might and Magic alive in a time where 20 years after the fact, it has, I don't want to say it has no business being alive because it is such a great sound game. So very, very well done. And yet I recognize that there's other games that people could be playing. I was having this conversation with my dad, actually, where we were talking about Heroes of Might and Magic and the kind of game it is for us. My dad and I are the type who we usually will play the crap out of Heroes of Might and Magic for a long time, like a couple months. And then we will leave and take a break and go play other games. But then we always come back and the cycle always repeats, if that makes any sense. Like we will, we won't play the same game all the time, every day for years straight, but we will always come back to Heroes of Might and Magic without a doubt. We always have, we always will. So it's just kind of fun to think how there's always people that are keeping it going. Norovo, yes, that's his name. You're right. I apologize when I say it wrong. No disrespect to any of these other creators out there, because I appreciate again what they're doing. And hell yeah, it's all about the community. Yeah, it's absolutely about the community. I definitely agree with that. Because this is, okay, when I've said it before, and I'll say it again, when I've said to people that I have the smartest chat in the world, I'm really not just trying to butter you guys up. I think that Heroes of Might and Magic players are, in general, pretty smart. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to keep track of to play Heroes of Might and Magic well. There's a lot of opportunities that you could miss. You're constantly evaluating your position, the enemy's position. It's always changing. So, yeah, I think that you've got to be pretty smart to play Heroes. And I love it when people are here, like Rise to Ruin, a whole ton of other people are very, very good at helping me out. And I say, oh, you're totally right. We talk about some strategy and I say, you are absolutely right. And you saw something I didn't see. That makes a game interesting. That makes a game exciting. That's so fun. And that's part of the reason why I like to stream. Nestled among the trees sits a blind seer. After you explain the intent of your journey, the seer activates his crystal ball, allowing you to see the strengths and weaknesses of your opponents. Whoa, that's a lot of flags. Oh my gosh. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look. That is a very interesting portrait. Yellow is not playable. You can play as purple, red, green, or blue. Yellow is not playable. And they have Roland's portrait. I'm guessing that that's going to be their very best hero, by the way. So we will keep an eye out on yellow. They might be the spoiler. They might be more tough than we might think. But otherwise, there's no hero out here on the map that looks crazy bad for me. The Green Knights are looking pretty good. They've already got up to Crusaders and they're 5 attack, 5 defense. Hopefully they're on the other side of the map. I don't want to see green anytime soon. As far as this other stuff goes, we are second as far as towns go because we picked up that one barbarian town. Number of castles, we are tied for first. That means everybody's got one castle. That's good. That's good. If somebody has more than one castle, they're getting more troops from week to week. We are actually not number one in heroes with 4 heroes. I guess that there's probably 5 or 6 heroes for these other factions. Golden Treasury, yellow is up in that. Total army strength, yeah, yellow is tough. And then we are pretty down in the dumps when it comes to our army strength. But we're kind of trying to slingshot our way forward with dragons. That's our plan. We're hoping for a trading post. We're hoping for lots of extra sulfur. We'll see what happens. Surprisingly, our income is so low. Look at this. How do we have the last income? How are we at the very end when we're getting what? 4,000 gold a day? That's scary. I'm terrified now. Huh, did not see that coming. Okay. Well, there's a lot to learn, folks. Okay. I've made a mistake here. This ore mine, we do need ore in order to get our dragons. There's a little bit of loose ore here and there, but we needed this ore mine to be a priority, and I didn't make it a priority. Thankfully, we do have Castor that's got these 3 hydras. That's going to be his job. I'm going to actually go the back way. The back way is safer if we go east back to west. Then again, I don't think that we're going to eat too much attention if we go this way. Let's just go the shortest way. And then maybe we can even have Falagar help us get that sawmill in just a little bit. We're going to do the Demon Cave. I've mentioned it before, but I will say it again because it's very, very relevant. It is different, by the way, the rewards from the Demon Cave, whether or not you fight the demon or whether you fight the servants. So, interesting stuff for you and I to know. Castor is just doing his thing, just hanging out. Falagar, same. Agar. Demon Cave. The entrance to the cave is dark and a foul, sulfurous smell issues from the cave's mouth. Will you enter? Yes, I will. Do you want to fight the servants here? I do. You find the powerful, grotesque demon in the cave. Today it rasps. You will fight and surely die. I will give you the choice of deaths. Give me your servants. Give me your 400 experience and give me your 2,500 gold. Wonderful. Crodo, I don't want. I don't want to wander too far into this area. I feel pretty tough. We're going to clear in circles. Just kind of in circles. Towards the enemy, but also back towards relative safety occasionally. It would be very, very sad if we just lost a hero because of our own negligence. And unfortunately, that's how I lose most of my heroes most of the time. Maze for the Minotaurs makes too much sense. It's a prerequisite anyway, and there's just such a good troop. Folks, we got 24,000 gold. We might end up trading gold for resources. How often do you see that? It's a bad idea, don't get me wrong, but it's an idea. Getting a little bit of action from Troyan and Crodo. I definitely want Castor to run. And I'm guessing that Troyan is simply a scout. I didn't realize we had that many Hydras. Whoa, I didn't realize we had 9 Hydras. Huh. Okay. Hydras are actually better in one single stack rather than multiple stacks. Unless Troyan has some really weird spells, but for these fights, it's not going to matter that much. And then, once again, heading up north with Falagar. Agar's going to grab Pikeman. I'm not as tough as I think I am. Every single one of these fights that the AI says we fight, we lose like 1 genie pretty much every time. Doesn't feel very good. Doesn't feel very good at all. We're going to go into a completely defensive position. We're going to make these Griffins earn their keep. Yeah, we're going to make them earn their keep. I am going to cast the curse now. We're going to have that curse last for 5 turns, so you might as well. And then we're going to attack the veteran pikemen that don't have as much, or do not have that curse. We're going to keep the genies back, let these troops all just take a whack, take their beating, and be very, very sad for it. Okay. 22 damage from the pikemen, 16 damage from the pikemen, 17 damage from the pikemen. Yeah, they're going to do some damage. Now is the time for me to reach out and really try and hurt them badly. We're down to 1 pikeman there. I would prefer that the griffins do more damage. And then genies. If I sit right here in this little pocket, if I sit in the pocket, I might be better off. I just really don't want to lose a genie. 2 genies. Feels like you can kind of build a strategy around that. 1 genie. Not so much. Not so much. Let's attack the creatures that are not cursed. Everybody else are good targets. 12 damage. Oh, I left a spot open for the centaurs. Very sad. 6 hit points left. We're gonna get the genies out. The genies are retired for the day. They don't need to do anything else. They have done their job. So to the far corner they go. Let's kill 5 here. And I know that the centaurs are now just in the wide open space. It is what it is. They're tough. As far as level 1 range creatures go, the centaurs are, as I've mentioned in some other videos, maybe the only level 1 creature that I might ever consider taking against the dreaded ghost. And why is that? I mean, would you ever want to take a level 1 creature against a ghost? No. Would I really like to take the level 1 centaur against ghosts? No. But they're probably the best creature to take against ghosts, and here's why. They have 5 defense. Or excuse me, they have 5 hit points. Now, they have very, very little defense. They have 1 defense. But if you can boost up their defense with stone skins, steel skins, or you have them with a knight or a barbarian, there is a good chance they can take some serious damage because of the way that inherent takiness takes place. Because of those high hit points, you can bolster their defense and you can get a lot of effective hit points out of them. So that's what I generally hope happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've got so much gold here that I'm going to probably just give over lots of experience here. Sure. But also, I just don't want the enemies to have these troops. Maybe I can at least take down 1 genie or something like that, because the genies are going to fly. Let's see, the genies are going to fly, so let's actually have 2 stacks of the orcs. Single stacks of goblins, they're there, and we're going to lose this town very quickly. We went in this direction mostly for this ore. I've recognized I need to pick up ore. We're going to go through the nomads. That'll actually, wow, lots? Lots? You want to go through lots of nomads? I don't. I really don't. That's it's maybe more than I want to deal with. Lots of nomads are kind of tough. They're 20 hit points each. It's like 3 to 5 damage. They're very fast. They're 6 speed. I'd argue because they're a 2-hex creature, the extra hit points is null unless we're talking about talking legion numbers. You're definitely right on that. Talking about the centaurs and their value on the battlefield. It's day 7, folks. I pathed in this direction, and I immediately am changing my mind. I don't think Natasha can reach me, or that she will. I think that she's going to scout in this direction, take this castle, and then go. And that's going to give Barak time to go back. He's going to pick up troops and send them tomorrow. We're going to combine those troops, and then we're going to be feeling pretty good about our life choices. That's my plan. We'll see how well or poorly it works out. Okay. Chris, oh, nice to see you. I didn't see you were online till now. Yeah, man, how you doing? Nice to see you there. How's the English football team doing? Hopefully they're doing well. By the way, folks, is anybody keeping track of the Olympics? I'm not doing a great job of keeping track of the Olympics, but it's very fun to me that every 4 years, people who are definitely not sports fans at least start to follow sports a little bit. If for no other reason than they like to just say, oh yeah, we're doing so good. My country is doing good in this sport or this sport. I think it was Uzbekistan got their first gold medal of all time. I think it was, and it was in judo. So I was very happy for Uzbekistan. Anytime you get somebody who is able to be the very first for their country, I just love that. There was, oh, there's gems here. Interesting. We're gonna pick up those now and go back here. No, they lost the final football, that is. As for the Olympics, nah, not my thing. Gotcha, Chris. Rice Ruin, hey buddy, hope you're doing well. Yep. And I think that there was my all-time favorite moment, which was, I think it was a guy from, I want to say like, not Fiji, not Tonga, but a very small Pacific island country. And he was the very first medalist from his country ever. and it was in kayaking. It was like whitewater rafting or something like that. And he was in the number 1 slot. He was in the first position. He was going to win, and he caught a weird riptide or something like that. I don't know the ins and outs of that sport per se, but he did the very best he could to right the ship, and ultimately he did. And he went from the gold down to the bronze. And you would have thought that he didn't, you know, miss out on the opportunity for gold. He was just so happy to be the guy to have brought gold home to his country, and I loved that. It was one of my all-time favorite Olympic moments there, just to see people that are just like, I did it, I did it. Yeah, so impressive. I love to see the athletes who have the dedication to work year-round for 4 years for your one spot to shine. That's got to be so stressful. It's got to be so stressful to do everything you can to win, and then if you win, great. If you lose, not like the last 4 years were a waste, but you know, I think NK, is that North Korea? Is that North Korea? Just won the gold in swimming. Also, Canada's up to 5 medals, beats watching the Leafs for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's North Korea. Good for North Korea. Way to go, North Korea. Good for you. By the way, I know I've been talking about other stuff for the last couple of minutes, but blue is officially a thorn in my side. The nice thing is that they have not yet consolidated their forces very well or very effectively. These are all heroes I can beat. I really want to take out lots of nomads, and I will. I think that Barak is actually going to borrow all these troops, defeat the nomads, and then we're going to give them back to Agar. That's what we're going to do. I don't love to do this, but it'll work. And in fact, we're going to make sure that it's the genies that are here instead of the gargoyles. I'm just trying to think about the way that this fight's going to play out. Hydras, we're going to try and put them in the front. All these other creatures, this will be about as good as we can do. Okay, and then so yeah, Barak is going to defeat the nomads and then give the troops back, and then he'll have free reign to this area. Actually, I Googled to see if there was chess at the Olympics. Alas, no, though Gary Kasparov has been pushing for it to be included in the Olympics. I follow chess a lot and love watching online tournaments. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Kasparov, I mean, I know that I always personally get Kasparov and Karpov mixed up. I always do. But there's some excellent, wonderful chess players who are, even though they're retired, are still doing so much for the game. And I mean, I'm sure that they don't need me to say, hey, I appreciate you for doing that, but I sure do. Yeah. I think that my all-time favorite era of chess is my favorite because of my father, who was very, very active in chess during like the Bobby Fischer era. And so, you know, when Bobby Fischer goes over, they're playing in like Reykjavik and as the neutral site, and it's the USA versus, I think it was Russia. I'm sure it was Russia, actually. That was kind of his era where he got the most enjoyment out of those, you know, high intensity chess matches. And so for that reason, I'm kind of a fan of that as well. Although my dad's also a fan of Paul Morphy, which I think he was a chess master in the 1800s. And it's so fun to look at those old chess matches because you get to see how much the game has changed, sure, but also how smart these guys were and have always been. For a game that's been around for as long as it has, chess is still undergoing changes all the time, and especially with the advent of computers and like Deep Blue and Stockfish, you know, chess players are always getting better and better all the time. But even so, without all that additional technology, chess players have always been great and really, really fun and interesting to watch. I was actually talking to the girlfriend yesterday about this. Rice Ruin says, how about a triathlon with chess, like run, swim, chess, speed run? Yeah, I like that. Chris says, I love the Soviet era and Bobby Fischer, an interesting individual. Yeah, definitely an interesting individual. And I'm the kind of guy, I feel bad when when we judge people by today's standards. You know, like we're kind of in a little bit of a PC era, and I don't know how it is in other places, but in my country, there's been issues where people have torn down statues of famous historical people because even though they were great people who did wonderful things, like for our country, founding father type people, they also participated, for example, in things like slavery, which is objectively wrong. Nobody's saying slavery is good. But at the time, it was different than now, and because of their involvement in the slave trade, for example, Thomas Jefferson, even though he called the slave trade a hideous blot and he worked to eliminate it and things like that, people are tearing down statues of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. It started with the Confederate generals and things like that, who I understand you don't want to glorify that time period, but also it feels like, I'll take the one loss there, it feels like there's some revisionist history going on, and it's hard, you can't judge people in the past by today's standards, in my opinion. It feels disingenuous in a way that I'm probably shooting myself in the foot with the way I'm talking here, but I hope you can feel my good-natured vibes about this conversation, even if I'm not putting my words together in a very good way. It feels icky to me, I guess. While searching through the rubble of a caved-in mine, you free a group of trapped dwarves. Grateful, the leader gives you a golden bracelet that's +2 to our spell power. Sawmill here. Chris, yeah, LOL, Bobby Fischer wasn't very PC at all. He hated the Jews, although he was one. I actually didn't know that he was Jewish. That's very interesting. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm going to stay far, far away from that conversation because I'm not stepping my foot in that bear trap. Yeah, not stepping my foot anywhere near that bear trap. We do have the ability to get the marketplace, folks. It's day 3. I think that with it being month 1, week 4, day 3, it's a good idea to pick up the marketplace now, and so we can potentially trade for what we need very, very soon. Green Dragon Tower is going to be 7 ore away, plus, let's see, 7 ore and 6 sulfur. We can get a lot of that by the end of this week without trading, unless the enemies take our sulfur mines and our ore mine. But even so, I think that we have a good possibility here to do well. The Knight, Ector, that's a little scary. A might-based hero with bone dragons is very scary. The attack skill, the defense skill with those excellent troops, that's a little scary, and he's coming my way. Oh my goodness. Hopefully he goes part way and then he gets bored and just runs or leaves. That's my hope. We'll see what happens there. Our heroes, our scouting heroes, our secondary heroes are more or less safe here in the back line. We're going to allow them to bring troops to the front, and we're going to continue to chase Crodo down. This map is very green. Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering if picking up the pathfinding was a bad decision. The alternative was taking the navigation. I don't think that there's any problem with just picking up the pathfinding in case there's one little rough bit of terrain, especially when the opportunity is pathfinding or navigation. I think it definitely makes sense to just take the pathfinding. Don't you? Let's wait till day 7 before we do anything else. Folks, I have a confession. I am never going to upgrade this barbarian town into a castle. I'm never going to do it. It's not going to happen. No. At this point, month 1, week 4, day 4, at this point, if I'm a barbarian, I'm hoping I've already transitioned to another faction. There's no way that I'm going to mire myself down with these other troops. I'm not going to shackle myself to the limitations of the barbarians. Now, I am still working on, trust me, I've not stopped working on it, a wonderful video, and I think it's going to be wonderful. I know that I'm tooting my own horn here a little bit, but I think it's going to be a pretty excellent video on the different factions and how you can best utilize them. And that includes more or less a faction by faction specific type of guide, might be the wrong term here, but something like that anyway. And one of the things that, with lots and lots of time spent thinking about it, making sure that, you know, my arguments are sound and hold up under scrutiny, one of the things I've determined is that, look, might is really, really good. It's excellent. It's fantastic. But the limitations are mostly with the factions, and a lot of the power budget for the knights and the barbarians is found in their hero types. That's my sense. That's my sense. Why not? Maybe if you had a beefy Cyclops by your side, sketchy cooks wouldn't be robbing you by the roadside. Rise to Ruin, you always make me laugh. How could you? Yeah, actually, you would think that the Hydras would be enough to convince them not to get silly with me, but no, I guess not. Fun story here, by the way. There's officially a love story going on in my mind here between these Medusa snake ladies and these Hydras. I know that this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They're definitely two different types of creatures. This is definitely more humanoid than snake-like, but I can't help but notice that there could be a potential love story brewing right here. And we will say no more on the matter. Would it be too much to ask a Cyclops to sleep with one eye open? It would be. It absolutely would be too much to ask them to. So we're going to let them do the very best they can with what they have. Are you streaming at the library? I know last week you had bandwidth issues. I am streaming at the library. We have had the stream drop exactly one time, and that was within the first like 5 minutes. We're now about an hour into the stream, and we haven't had problems for about 55 minutes. So if I only have one problem an hour, I hate to do that because I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to the quality of what I'm putting out here, but I can handle once an hour. If the alternative is not stream at all, I would much rather stream with this one thing that I wish was much better. And so the fix that I hoped for is in place, and I think that it is helping a lot. It's just not perfect. How about that? There is a very low chance we kill 2 unicorns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I really want the Minotaur Kings to take the hit? I don't think so. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see if we can kill 2 unicorns. Very, very unlikely, but yeah, tell you what, you know that Phixfox is having a rough time, Chris, if I'm asking myself, hey, should I look into that Elon Musk Starlink or whatever? Like, should I look at satellite internet to see if I can, you know, have some kind of workaround? That's how bad it is that I'm saying, oh, I'd really like to actually stream and have there be no problems. Maybe it's just not meant to be for the foreseeable future. And maybe that's good for me as a person. Maybe that's good for me, for my growth. You know, be a little more humble, have a little more humility. Natasha is in this weird spot. I think I can defeat her, but I do want to split up my genies. If Barak goes down here, I'm going to be very sad. Pack of Sprites, I'm tougher, but if she has 1 lightning bolt or even 1 magic arrow, I think that she wins that fight. Then again, maybe she thinks that maybe I have 1 magic arrow. We don't have to tell her that I do not. Let's not tell her. Let's just let her think whatever she wants to think. It's day 6, on to day 7. Purple is still pushing up to the north, but they're kind of pushing not on the main road. There is this trading post here, by the way. I was looking for a trading post. We found this there. Whoa! I didn't realize this. Folks, look at this. Hold on. There are several Titans and then a pack of Black Dragons right after that. And then there's Baywatch with unknown defenders. This area is not that rich. This is not that exciting. There is stone liths here, but this is not that exciting of an area. That makes me think that this has to be a pretty good town, don't you think? Like, upgraded, it's got some nice dwellings, even though it's a town and not a castle. Like, with these defenders, you would think that this would be a strategically significant point. Maybe it's the stone liths that is the strategic point, but I don't know who's going to be going through Titans and then Black Dragons anytime soon. Sure is not going to be me. It's day 7. Before we do anything else, we have to trade for the resources. We did get up to the ore that was necessary. We do need to pick up 2 units of sulfur. It's going to hurt my heart to do this, but we're going to trade all of our gems. Oh, wait. We have so much gold. We're going to trade gold for this last bit of sulfur. We've got so much gold. I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem to trade a little bit of gold for sulfur. But we are going to pick up this green tower right now. That's also yellow faction, the faction you can't pick. Yeah, Rise to Ruin, you're right. Final boss vibes, it might be. It really might be. If you can't win the scenario until you defeat them, that could be very much the case. In fact, that's going to be our working theory moving forward. I'm going to see... I've scouted enough with these heroes, and I don't have much reason not to do kind of like a hero chain here. I do want to defeat Natasha right now, but I'm not confident in these 2 genies' ability to do so. Then again, I can't reach with Barak. Or Castor. Should we just... I don't know. I don't want her to turn on Falagar. I think that I just boxed myself into a corner here. I think we're going to fight Natasha, and I hope that we win. It may be that we lose 5,000 gold worth of heroes here right now. Yeah, I'm guessing that with that she's going to cast 2 50-point lightning bolts. Yeah, 4 spell power. Okay. That's what's going to happen. Oh, never mind. It's a cold ray. Yeah, yes, quite. Does Barak have anything that he needs to keep? The answer is no. Darn. It's 2 heroes in that I'm going to lose because she's going to cast 1 more cold ray. And that's it. Darn. It was a bad decision, and the reason why I made a second decision, this was the bad decision. Putting Falagar right here, bad decision. Don't do that. What made it worse is I compounded my bad decision on a bad decision by then trying to get him unstuck. I should have just cut my losses. We all could have figured that Natasha was going to have at least 1 damaging spell, right? Yeah, I think so. The only good thing is that maybe Castor is going to be able to chase her down in just 1 second. That's going to give me my only little bit of solace. In fact, let's make sure that we have the 4-speed Medusa, so that way maybe we can go a little bit further tomorrow. Darn. Troyanne is a little bit of a big fight. She's a load. And so I'm going to try and box her in. If she wants to go back this way, she's going to have to go around me now. I couldn't reach her before, but now she's going to have to go around, or she's going to have to go south. But I do want this fight. I don't have any damaging spells, but I do want this fight. Let's go on to month 2, week 1, day 1. Making okay time. Not going tremendously fast, but we're doing okay. Was that month of the vampire? It must have been, because there's a pack of vampires there. Let's get Troyanne right now. Let's see if we can avoid her running. I doubt it. If the enemy wants to run, we are on patch 1.1.1, and folks, I am thrilled to report. I am thrilled to report. For a little while, I had said to myself, it feels like the FHeroes2 AI is struggling. I had said that it wasn't feeling as sharp as it once was, that there were some decisions where I said in the past I would have thought that it would have run there instead of sticking around to fight and lose or whatever the case was. I am pleased, I am happy to report that I think that there's been a return back to either baseline or just like some general improvements, and the AI is feeling sharp and shiny. Like right here, I anticipate that the AI is going to run. There was a time where it didn't feel like it was going to run when it should have, and now it feels like it will. It's going to run right there. Yeah, 1 Minotaur King, 3 gargoyles, and I like that. I would prefer a nice, tough enemy. If I win, I want to be proud of my victory. Does that make sense? I think that we all understand that. Like, hey, if I'm going to play this game, I'd really like to play and just, you know, enjoy myself, sure, but also do very, very nice on the map that we have at hand. So the AI is feeling really good, sharp and shiny, sharp and shiny. Natasha did not attack Falagar, and I'm thrilled for that. Maybe she understood that there is a hurricane coming her way. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. I like that the vampires are now guarding my sulfur mine for me. That's very nice. We're going to allow them to do that. This is my alchemist lab, by the way. I'm to the point where I feel like I simply must start getting levels in Mage Guild. And so for that, I'm going to need to go southwest to get that alchemist lab. Yay, back to triple paralyzed KO. Get out of my game, AI. Yeah, your Rice Ruin is mentioning the Cyclopes that just obliterated me at one point. Got 3 paralyzes off and then wiped my whole team without any, never mind. It was very glorious. I have no regrets about what happened. Sure, I was on the losing end of that encounter, but that was good gameplay. And I'm always happy when the AI does something fun or nifty or exciting. That's what I like. And so I'm very thrilled for it. I cannot say enough about the FHeroes2 team. They are terrific individuals. By the way, the link to their Discord is, I think I have that still linked in my description on my videos, at least on YouTube. I think I do. Feel free to go check them out. The Discord's always growing, and there's always new things that they are doing to improve the game. So I recommend highly that you go and support them, even if you're just there for conversation. That helps the project get some notoriety. It helps spread the awareness. And maybe you're not the person that's a programmer or a graphical artist or something like that. Maybe you're not the guy or girl that can help the project move forward in some sort of way. Maybe there's no skills or talents or time that you can donate at this current moment, but maybe just by you being involved, you can help the person that is or could be get involved, and that would be tremendous. That'd be wonderful. I think that we're going to take a lot of damage from pikemen in just a second. Anyway, let's just start the fire and just see where this goes. I have a Zoom call in 15 minutes. I'll be back if you're still streaming. Sounds good, Chris. Zoom call? Isn't it like midnight? Man, you work some crazy hours. I'm here for it, don't get me wrong, but man, that's crazy. Huh. Let's see, Griffins here. I'm gonna skip on the Centaurs. I just don't want to take the retaliation damage. And then these Hydras are blocking off some units and staying on top of some others. Let's curse this biggest stack of pikemen. Let's continue to help out with these groups of 6. They go down. I think that the Centaurs are gonna get a free shot. They do. And then from here, this is where I'm going to hit Q and just finish the battle in auto mode. Although I'm worried that the Griffins are going to park themselves right here. I'm going to hit auto just because I want to see, is the AI going to park the Griffins here or up here? And make sure that the Hydras have space. Let's check this out. Yeah, and that's a mistake. So pretty interesting. The Hydras are then going to go back. I would have had the Griffins go around so the Hydras could step up and get the nice double attack. And that's objectively better. I'm not here to say that the AI is flawless and perfect, but that is one thing that I wasn't sure if they would do what I anticipated or not. So anyway, glad that we checked that out just for the funsies. Actually, it's a 20:00, the Zoom call. Oh, it's 8 p.m. Oh, that's not too bad then. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, go do what you gotta do, sir. I totally get it. I'm grateful that you're here, as often as you are. You're usually the first person in the stream, and that is not lost upon me. I have noticed that. I have noticed. You're usually the very first person in, so everybody's got stuff to take care of. It's never gonna hurt my feelings. People got stuff to do, so yeah. Gotta take care of business first and then pleasure second. This right here. I want that. Natasha is not gonna be able to get through Medusa. I think that we have the opportunity to catch her here. We're gonna do that. I've been waiting to see whether or not if it made sense to wait to get the red tower. It's still too far away. I'm just gonna pick up 3 green dragons now. I'm gonna split the dragons up. Well, I gotta give them over to Falgar, but we're going to move these troops over. And we're going to get to that trading post. That trading post is going to help me. Even though these dragons may never get upgraded into red dragons, they might, but they might not. It's still going to be worth it just because we can take this very critical objective here with that trading post. So, otherwise, Agar has backed off because I don't want to fight Phoenixes just yet. Not with this army. Not when I have dragons around. It would make more sense for me to just wait and do things a little more wisely. All things in wisdom and order. Killed my guy with the genies. You're going down. I'll accept those losses. Down go the Medusa. And I'll take, you know what? I'll take the diplomacy. Yeah, if for no other reason than if I have to surrender with Falgar, he immediately is much easier to surrender and keep the troops. That seems pretty good to me. We're gonna do that. And he's gonna bust into this area here. We do need to get this Mercury, again, for mage guilds and things like that. We gotta go back. We haven't been getting crystal this whole time. I missed that on the way out. The enemy stole it and we never got it. And it's not lost upon me, I say that a lot, that we still have this wizard town that we can potentially take. I definitely don't think I wanted to take that until I got dragons. But now that we have them, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. What? They also took my gems. How could they? How should they? 3 of the vampires will join your army? No. No. Basic logistics. Falgar is turning into a pretty okay secondary hero. Well done, Falgar. And I think that this horde of ghosts, let me think, with 0 attack, 1 defense, 5 spell power, but no spells. Is this a fight that's wise? Horde of Ghosts. That could be anywhere between 50 to 100 ghosts. 3 dragons is really good. I don't know about that, though. I don't know about that. That seems... That's a little scary. That's a scary proposition, because with 200 hit points, you basically have 600 hit points worth of green dragons. And if it is 50 ghosts, let's just say it's 50 ghosts, that's 50 times 20. That's 2,000 hit points worth of ghosts. You know, you see what I'm saying? 2,000 hit points worth of ghosts versus 600 hit points worth of dragons. When you look at that fight in those terms, it changes things. I think that you want just a little bit more than just these dragons. If we had more defense skill, more attack skill, great. I think we fight that fight. But otherwise, I think that looking at it in terms of 600 hit points worth of dragons versus at least 2,000 hit points worth of ghosts. Wait, was my math wrong? 50 times 20? 1,000 hit points worth of ghosts? Rise to Ruin, I'd single stack them if you want that fight. I don't think I want that fight. I want the gold, but gold's not the priority. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, fully agree though, especially without good offensive spells, yeah. I gotta tell you, just for my own pride, I'm glad that we both agree, sure. But I'm also glad that I arrived there before you told me, yeah, dude, no, you're an idiot. Because I think that fighting that fight, maybe it's a worthy risk. Maybe it's not the difference between a smart person and an idiot, but it is a little bit... It's definitely dicey at best. Inadvisable. How about that? This fight is inadvisable. We're going to continue on to day 6. Blue is just a thorn in my side. I don't feel comfortable pushing out until I got more dragons. I really don't. And I don't love that I am taking 3 dragons away from my main castle, but it's day 6, almost day 7. I think we're gonna have time to come back just in case the enemy happens upon us. Month 2, week 1, day 7 now. Okay. LMAO, hey, you did the math. I wouldn't say that's something an idiot practices often. That is the nicest thing anybody said to me all day. All day. Crodo has wandered a little too close. And even though he could defeat Agar, and he could probably defeat Falgar by themselves, I don't think he can defeat my combined force. This is going to take Falgar a little bit out of his way. I think it makes too much sense to defeat Phoenixes now while I can. Every little bit of troops that I deny him, the better it will be for me. We're going to leave... Which troops are best to leave for this fight? I think we're going to leave the Hydras. I don't think that the Centaurs are going to get as much attention, and I don't think that 4 Hydras are better than Minotaurs or these other creatures. So we're going to put creatures like this, try to prevent the enemy from flambeing ourselves. That is one problem with green dragons being 4 speed, is that they can potentially hurt yourself without you even thinking about it. And then it is going to be Agar with his full army that we are going to then attack Crodo and get him out of our land. Get thee hence. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can fight this fight any better. 1 Phoenix. Okay, yeah. I'm still very glad I brought the dragons, but 1 Phoenix is definitely more than you would want to fight without any of these other creatures. I don't think I really care about the damage from the Greater Druids. I think I'd prefer to put the curse on the Unicorns, because they have such a high range of damage, 7 to 14. If 4 unicorns are only doing 7 damage, that is a really good thing for me. I could probably get this Phoenix to blast the unicorns. Let's try that. Yep, that'll work. That'll do just fine. And then I'd rather take out full stacks of creatures so I can maybe prevent the enemy from running. It's a little bit of a long shot, but we'll try our very best. The Phoenixes are going to get to go first next round anyway. Can't stop that. But if I do this much damage, maybe the retaliation from anybody that the Phoenixes will attack, maybe that'll be enough to take them out. And again, we're just trying to get the enemy defeated without letting them run. The problem is they have such high speed troops. Yeah, 2 to 4 damage here. We can maybe kill 3 to 6. Let's try and not do so much damage that they want to run. They don't want to run yet. That might be our opening. That might be our opening. Hold on. 4 speed, 4 speed. If we attack the unicorns, then their dwarves are gonna get to go. Let's actually back off. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy, but this is what you have to do if you're gonna keep the enemy from running. Let's back off with the gargoyles, waste their turn entirely, and then let's hope we can kill 3 to 5 dwarves. There's no way. Our top end of damage is basically 99 points of damage. And there's 81 hit points with the dwarves here. It's possible, just very unlikely. Let's give it a shot. And they actually don't run. That's wonderful. Okay, and then we have to defeat their very fast 6-speed creatures. Then we have to defeat the unicorns. Yeah, buddy, we kept them from running. It took a little bit of finagling. The good morale certainly doesn't hurt. And we do lose more troops when we do something like that. But if the enemy is not going to run, then that's one more enemy that we don't have on the battlefield for us. Maybe they have an artifact, and that makes it worth it. Whatever troops we just spent there, having the additional morale, I think is absolutely worth it. Badge of Courage, so good, so good. And really kind of difficult sometimes to quantify how good morale is. I think it's kind of difficult to quantify just how good morale is because it doesn't work all the time. It's not a consistent effect, but it essentially gives you the opportunity to do double damage, which nobody should be sad about at all. We really shouldn't be sad about this magic arrow here, by the way, which I'm all for. Yeah. Okay. I like the way that went. Fixing his luck. Fixing his luck. Yep. We make our own luck. Yep. It's a challenge to make your own luck, but we're doing okay with it. Okay. We are going to have Falgar go south into these Medusa. I just really want to get lots of trading opportunities from that trading post. We'll pick up the Magic Garden on our way back. If the enemies aggress into our area, we will let them. I don't think we can really stop it at the moment. I am loath to lose the Sulfur that I would otherwise spend on this red tower, but I'm going to roll the dice a little bit. We've got lots of spell power. We've got lots of knowledge. Picking up the blind, very, very good. I would love to have a Cold Ray or something there, but we'll take it. Blind is so very good. By the way, did you know? You can actually have a second level mage guild that does not have a damaging spell in it. You can purchase not 1, but 2 levels. Did you just die? Did you see that? That hero just ran right into these titans and just... Never mind, they're gone. Okay, but you can get a level 2 mage guild and it will availeth you nothing if you're looking for damage. I always think that's very interesting. What in tarnation? Are you kidding me? Medusa are tough, but I don't think they're that tough. We're going to be dropping lots of curses on this play here. 3 spell power. Let's actually wait. Let's do a curse. Let's move here. Hopefully they will all kind of go in this direction. They don't. Okay. And then we'll start next turn. Interesting. What are you guys doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these guys are going to go here. I think that we attack these Medusa there. We curse here. We'll take some reduced damage. Damage. You can't petrify the dragons, by the way. I say that, and then immediately I'm like, wait, is that right? You'd think I would know by now. I'm going to save as much damage onto these dragons as possible. As much as possible. Even if that means hanging these Medusa out to dry. Would have been a good time to actually split up the Medusa into single stacks for their petrify opportunity. I think that it's gonna work out. It'll be okay, but still, that was a missed opportunity. We're gonna damage 2 creatures at a time where we can. 7 creatures go down. Terrific. Interesting that they're trying to defeat these Medusas. With 1 Medusa left, I'm gonna take my pot shot. 20% chance to petrify. Let's see it. Aw, rats. Rats. We did our best. It's okay. We're not gonna get another opportunity to get a double hex attack off though. The enemies are just not going to cooperate, I think. If I was them, I wouldn't cooperate, and I don't think that they're going to oblige us that opportunity. Everybody's either cursed or really, really low stacks. Did we keep these guys from getting to us? We did. We're going to get 1 more double hex attack. We're down to 2 dragons. We're going to save a dragon, though. That feels pretty good. I'm just fine with losing 1 dragon instead of 2. And then, oh, let's just make sure with 1 more curse. If later I lost the last dragon, I'd feel really, really dumb. if I didn't use the curse right there. And what else am I going to spend my spell points on? Basic luck. I know that we're getting levels of Mage Guild, but I definitely don't think that we're going to get level 4 anytime soon. Agar does need to step in here, strictly for the Mage Guild, though. Phixfox, why is Castor the Warlock just chilling, just hanging out, not doing anything? What else do you want him to do? I'm at a little bit of a loss. I guess I could send him into this gap over here and try and do a little bit more exploring. It's just, he's more or less been staying put because it hasn't felt like there's much he can do to really help me out. And if I don't know what to do with the hero, it's not as bad to leave them at home so they can help me with a resupply later. That's my thought process anyway. How good of a decision that is or not, it's up to you. We're gonna get our first look at Zam. 4 Phoenixes. The rest of the troops are pretty bad though. 81 Sprites, sure, you gotta contend with that, but this is 1 week's worth of growth from all these other creatures. 1 attack, 1 defense, 2 spell power, 2 knowledge. He is not a problem. We can absolutely work with this. We can work with this. We're gonna see if we can get the Phoenixes. We're gonna see if we can get the Phoenixes to harm themselves. We're gonna keep these other troops alive as much as possible and move into this kind of area here. Wait. Oh, it's gonna happen. Watch this. 4 Phoenixes, 81 Sprites. Phixfox is a genius. Everybody, I'm a genius. What just happened? 81 dead Sprites. Let's see you do that again. Occasionally when that happens, you feel pretty smart. You have to be thinking about it in advance. Usually if you just happen into it, you feel more lucky than good. That was more being smart with our strategy, but in that fight, we had no business defeating 81 Sprites, and now these Phoenixes are hurt in 2 ways. Number 1, they don't have their second biggest stack of creatures. That's number 1. Number 2, they now have skeletons and zombies in their army. They must have already had the zombies and I just wasn't paying attention. Regardless, their morale is going to be pretty bad, and that feels great to me. I'm a little bit worried. I'm gonna take the experience here. Oddly enough, with Valagar, yeah, as a secondary hero. And I don't want to get too close. I don't want to get to here and then die. I'm gonna just take 1 more step forward and then hope that there's not somebody right here. 2 dragons is pretty good, but if I lose Valagar, I'm just gonna be feeling so silly. So silly. We're gonna split the dragons just in case. And next turn we should be able to get to the trading post and maybe we step on the liths and then prevent anybody from following us. That is the game plan. Zam, he can reach us if he wants to. Let's go to here, and maybe we can jet right by him in short order. I would love this red tower. We've got tons of good things we can trade. Are we back? Stream went down. Are we back? Question mark. It's just a real quick, okay, thanks Rise, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just a real quick blip, but it's enough to, I guess, to bring the stream down. There is a setting that'll try and reconnect a couple times, but it still makes multiple VODs. So it doesn't end the stream entirely. Oops, I forgot my strategy. So it doesn't end the stream entirely, but it does make separate VODs for the people that want to watch on Twitch later. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. I'm gonna put my fastest troops in the garrison, or here in my hero. And we're gonna hope that Zam actually steps up, tries to get to Castor, can't make it, and then we defeat him quickly. Let's see how good I do with this. Aha! Is my spacing on point today or what? Some days my spacing is woefully inadequate. Some days my spacing, I just don't have it. But today I feel like I have it, because now we have the ability to pick up the red tower. Oh, that's a little scary. We have the diplomacy if we need to skedoodle. We don't need a lot of wood, a lot of ore. So let's trade here. Let's trade here. Let's trade just a little bit of mercury. A little bit of mercury. And then 2 units of gold to get up to the red tab. Now I gotta trade for 2 units of ore. Okay, okay, Phixfox is a genius. But it's really cheap there. That's only, what, 2,500 gold? That's not too bad. It's not great. I wish I hadn't have done that, but now I don't have to upgrade red to black dragons or green to red dragons. And now we're gonna need 4 more units of sulfur. So let's get that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plenty of gold. Up to 4. And then the rest of these troops, I'm gonna purchase, except for the Hydras. So for that reason, I'm gonna purchase everybody manually. If I hit buy all, it'll buy in order of top tier down to low tier. And I don't think I wanna bring the Hydras on the road with me at this moment. They're gonna stay as a wonderful garrison unit. There's gonna have 8 more Hydras left over for another time. And we have 8,000 gold left over. After all of this that's happened, we now have 8,000 gold left over. Not too shabby. Zam is going to run as quickly as he can. He's not going to be able to escape. Instead, we're going to try and go around the long way, or at least put Castor into a defensive position. If Zam goes and just snipes him out, I'll feel sad, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to... Oh, geez, we can't make it to the liths. We might be going down. And so because we are going down, probably, do we want to trade any more resources for anything else? I don't think so. I'd love more sulfur. We're still going to get a steady stream of sulfur. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We have 1 of each mine, except for the crystals and the gem. That's going to be crystals, gems. We're going to take those in short order. We are going to push into blue with tons of dragons, with tons of power. They have no chance against us. They're going to be very sad very quickly. Purple leaves us alone. Very nice. Very nice. I thought that we were potentially going to have Falgar go down. Purple decided that they had other things that they needed to do. And look at this. Look, there's a sawmill here, but it's not claimed. Is this fresh territory that's never been explored? Looks like no. There is an ore mine here, and that's okay. I'm going to pick up whatever I can. Falgar is just going to wander around. He's going to do fun stuff. There is a yellow hero, Phineas, in Blackwind. Again, guarded by those black dragons. Very, very interesting. We're just going to grab everything we can in here. 2 dragons is enough, I think, to do some nice stuff. Agar is not going to be as fast as we would like. I'm going to chase Zam down. If he tries to go this way, he's in trouble. If he tries to go in here, he runs into a brick wall. So things are good. We are about an hour, 30 minutes into this video. We're at month 2, week 2, day 5. And I'm feeling okay. Let's take a quick pause right now and talk about strategy. Okay. So at this point, we've got Agar as our primary hero. He's only level 6, 1 attack, 0 defense, 9 spell power, 3 knowledge. We've got some nice artifacts, including some additional gold and some additional spell power. Spells, we have the blind and we have the magic arrow for damage and for disabling type of utility. We do have a steel skin, not too bad. But really the power is going to be in these red dragons. We are still pretty far away from black dragons. We just did an awful lot to get to our red dragons, so that is going to be on our laundry list of things to do later. We've had tons of aggression from blue. Blue has scouted the majority of our territory here. They know where this castle is. They know where we are at. They are not going to stop pushing into our territory. Purple has pushed up to about right here. They have not gone much further, so purple does not know what's to the north of them. And because the AI is not omniscient like it once was, that bodes really, really well for us. I think that because blue knows more about us, that necessitates that we must take out blue first. We've got the opportunity to get 1 of each mine in a real quick order. I don't think that we're going to invest in this wizard castle. We just don't have the gems or the resources to get dragons and wizards. And we've got another secondary hero that's really nice, level 5, Falgar. He does have more scouting type abilities, but he is serviceable as well, although he does not have the spells. So the best thing I have going for me, I'm getting nearly 4,000 gold per day. That's the best thing for me. The next best thing for me, I think I have the strongest troop on the battlefield. I do. Bone dragons, I think that red dragons are better than bone dragons. To the south, let's fight our enemies who are blue with sorceress phoenixes, and let's go from there. Okay, so Castor is scared of Astra. He's only got the 1 Medusa. Let's just have him go in this area. We do need to pick up the sign. Haven't read the sign yet. The clear waters of the mountain rivers gather here at Lake Grimoire. Grimoire? This has long been a place for the young acolytes to gather and study spells in the shade or watch the sprites play water polo. No skinny dipping. I'm looking at you, Castor. Looking at you. Speaking of no skinny dipping, by the way, recall Falagar to defend south and expand west to crush blue. It's a really good idea. I do want Falagar to kind of clear out this area. It looks like this has not gotten a lot of attention. Oh my gosh, what else is here? There's a free artifact. What? Okay, okay. I'm gonna have Falagar do that. I am gonna have him come back just to keep steady on the home front. Really, I'm gonna have him go back and hit the trading post one more time, because we're only trading at a clip of one marketplace otherwise. And then he can make sure that things stay okay. Plus, I do want to get his dragons up to black dragons as soon as possible. Pausing to rest and light a cook fire, you pull wood out of a nearby pile of dead wood. As you keep pulling wood from the pile, you notice that it doesn't shrink. You realize to your delight that the wood is enchanted, so you take it along. That's going to be +1 wood per day, not too bad. Water Willets, an extra 1,000 gold. And in the same way that over here has Titans and Dragons guarding the pass, this also has Titans and Dragons. Yeah, yellow is not playable for a reason, I suppose. Don't lose the thread. We're not fighting Astra, we're not fighting Ariel. We are finally tracking down Zam. He has no chance. Rise to Ruin says, sound idea. I'm glad that we are in agreement. I really am. Because, yeah, I definitely value your opinion. Oh. Folks, do you think that 21 zombies and 4 skeletons is worth having poor morale when your 4 phoenixes lose their turn? I don't think so. That feels pretty bad. That feels so bad. Let's look at the turn order here. Unicorns are going to go before anybody else, or really before my red dragons get to go. I think 42 gargoyles can actually put a wallop of damage onto the unicorns. I don't want to do the trick where a gargoyle makes the phoenixes retaliate against these 4 unicorns. I just don't think that that's worth it. We're gonna have 4 dragons defeat these phoenixes very, very quickly. And more than anything, I think that the disrupting ray on the phoenixes might make that go even better. That's probably what I'm gonna do. So we'll kill 1 to 2 of the unicorns here with the gargoyles. We'll take their retaliation and probably their next attack. No, they go for the Minotaur Kings. I'm fine for that. And then I am, again, going to cast the Disrupting Ray, reducing the defense by 3. Because in this instance, with 14 attack versus what was 8, 9, 10, 11 defense, we've just increased our damage against these phoenixes by 30%. That's what that Disrupting Ray did. It gives us the opportunity to kill 1 to 3. Before, I think that we had maybe the opportunity, maybe to kill 2. But we have a huge range of damage. Let's see if we can kill 3 phoenixes. Let's go, baby. 2 phoenixes, not too bad. And actually, we did the very low end of damage. We only barely killed 2 phoenixes. That is a little bit interesting. I would love to take out full stacks. I don't think it's more important to me than just taking out phoenixes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no phoenixes. Phoenixes did not get a turn. No chance. Griffins up here is probably a bad decision because then the 18 Minotaur Kings can't get in there. Just to make sure the enemy doesn't run, we're going to cast the blind. Skip. And there we go. So 2 gargoyles, way better fight. And I think that Zam might have something nice. I think he might have something nice. Nope, no artifacts. A little bit sad for that, but we'll take what we can get. Eagle Eye, best skill in the game? I think not. Diplomacy, always a good time. And nice to see that we're getting some attack skill and some defense skill. So very happy for that. We can defeat this mine. This abandoned mine is not too big of a deal right now. It's an extra 1,000 gold per day. I think that that's gonna be worth our time. It'll be a bit of a detour. It'll be a bit of a detour. Tell you what, we've got enough gold to hire as many heroes as possible. I've been meaning to say for the past couple of minutes, is it a good idea to get more heroes? And I've said to myself, well, I only just really got a use for Castor a second ago. And I said, well, maybe I don't need to spend the gold. Now I'm saying to myself, you know what? As I start to branch out and go east, I can do more things with my troops. Like here, I'm gonna have Crodo borrow some troops, probably the dragons, just the four dragons. 0 attack, 0 T. Whoa, Crodo is actually really good. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Crodo is somebody that the enemy has had before. Oh my gosh, he's got Lightning Bolt. He's got Cold Ray. I didn't realize Crodo was so good when I picked him up. Look at this. Look at this. He's a level 7 hero. He's probably my best hero right now. compare him to Agar, level 7, 1, 1, 9, and 3. 0, 0, 9, and 3. But artifacts over here with the +2. I do like the attack and defense skill though. What are the special skills? Archery is kind of a whatever. Luck is nice. Ballistics is kind of a whatever. But the spells though, because he's got the lightning bolt and he's got everything. I think that Crodo actually just became our main hero. I think he did. I think he did. So we're gonna have. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Agar go south. He's my new secondary hero. Falagar is now my tertiary hero. And against Ariel, I'm not worried about these troops. We're probably gonna send the troops that could take hits the worst, like this, and have Agar go south and Crodo go north. Yeah, and then in just a second, after we defeat these ghosts, Crodo is going to be able to defeat Ariel and just kind of push up in this direction. Very interesting development. And I didn't stop to check. I had no idea. I'm gonna pick up Sprites because I don't want the enemy to have them. Less likely that Castor survives the further I go west. But then again, 1, 2, 3 heroes. That's a lot of heroes that are just hanging out there. Gold, plenty of gold. And we're gonna actually sit on this water wheel for tomorrow because it's gonna be day 1 tomorrow. No other purchases to make at this time. Very interesting development. Huh. I almost missed that. I totally almost missed that. How often does that happen, do you guys find? Like, how often do you almost miss a very strategically unique opportunity and you just don't even realize it until afterwards, and then you're like, whew, man. Maybe move dragons to top, bottom position so the ghosts don't surround. Like here? Like top or bottom? Because I kind of want them to surround a little bit, I think. You already did? Sorry, no problem, no problem. Happy to hear that we're on the same page. I'm going to do 90 points of damage to this top stack. That's going to get rid of a couple ghosts. I'm going to move the Minotaur Kings to right here. I want the ghosts to kind of more or less go around these dragons. Well, I guess that doesn't work. Never mind. I probably should have moved the Minotaur Kings all the way out. Knowing how this fight has developed, I wasted their turn. That feels pretty bad. One more magic arrow. Oh, wait, they lined up for me. That's really nice. 58 hit points left. How did I lose a dragon in that fight before? Seems a little weird. We're going to take the estates, and we're going to beat the ghost, and we are able to restore the mine to production. Extra 1,000 gold. Do you feel like we have an embarrassment of riches? Yeah, feels pretty good. But positioning for dragons, Rise, you're so very important for anybody that can hear the sound of my voice. It is so very useful to be able to look in the future and see, wait a second, how is this fight going to develop? Because if I can avoid accidentally hurting my own troops with my flame breath attack, I should probably do that. That's a pretty good idea. And it's one of those things that if you're not keeping that in the back of your mind, you might miss out on that. Lots of cavalries. Look, 2 dragons are really good, but with no spells, Falagar is just not feeling this fight. It's more than I want to deal with. So knowing that sawmills, wood, is not that big of an issue right now, we're going to decline to attack our friendly cavalier buds. Best buds. So funny story while I'm thinking about it. The other night, my sister, and I need to do a little bit of a follow-up with her, my sister posted something to Facebook. And I'm not a big Facebook user, but occasionally I hop on, and it just so happened that, hey, there was something that she had posted. And what it was, 6-speed gargoyles here so they can get out of the way of the red dragons. Yeah. She had posted that she found out for the first time that there was a saying that she thought was a certain saying, and it was something else. What was it? It was like how people will occasionally confuse the phrase, it's a dog-eat-dog world. The phrase is dog-eat-dog world, saying it's like a rat race and it's cutthroat and you gotta do what you gotta do to survive and there's a lot of competition. And it's commonly misheard as doggy-dog, like D-O-G-G-Y. dog world. There's no eat in there when it's misheard. And it got me thinking about some of the ones that I've heard. And I got to share this story. I used to work pretty closely with some local judges, and it was unfortunately one of these judges that had to tell me that the term is actually not. It's not actually nip it in the butt. I always thought, because I'd heard it wrong, that the phrase was, oh, I'm just gonna go nip that in the butt. No, it's actually nip it in the bud, talking about horticulture and and things like that. So it's kind of embarrassing when, like, you want to make a good impression to a judge, you want to appear competent, you want to do good, you know, it's a small thing, but this is meaningful. And the judge has to say, sir, it's actually nip it in the bud, not nip it in the butt. Bryce threw an LMAO, but makes a better visual. It does actually, just like, yeah, we're just gonna take care of that right now. And yeah, for that that turn of phrase, if you're not familiar with it, it means to just get ahead of something or to stop it before it becomes a bigger problem. Like with roses, for example, you nip the buds so that way all the flowers don't grow small. If you nip a couple of them, then the flowers that are remaining grow nice and big. But they don't do that if there's, you know, too many roses trying to feed off of this one plant. So that's where that phrase comes from. And yeah, nip it in the butt. That's what I thought it was, and very embarrassing to have a judge have to tell you otherwise. I keep looking at this. I really want this black tower. I'm not going to purchase any more green or red dragons. I'm going to purchase them when they're black dragons. For that reason, we're going to trade, before anything else happens, we're just going to trade all of this ore for sulfur here. We're going to trade all this wood for sulfur here. And I'm going to trade one patch of mercury. So that way, I still save myself the opportunity to get levels of mage guilds, but we pick up the black tower now. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I like the way that's going. That just makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. So month 2, week 3, day 2. Blue is hot on my heels. They are chasing themselves into a little bit of a corner here, unless they're going to go through these vampires. Castor is a lost cause. I'm very sad for that, but it is what it is. It's going to be Agar that goes and picks up this crystal. I do want to pick up... Oh, we've already got the standing stones. Very interesting. Huh, we already got the standing stones. We're going to go through the gem mine here. Defeat Ariel, if she doesn't run. Agar with his 1 gargoyle is very fast. Castor is just going to sit. And then Falagar is going to return, because he does need spells. If nothing else, then he needs spells. It makes a world of difference for me. But are there any other turns of phrase that you've misheard, that you thought it was one thing and then you later found out, oh, nope, I was wrong? I would actually be very interested to hear, you know, just to make sure that I'm not the only person that mishears stuff and then repeats it, because it happens. It totally happens. No need to read aloud. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna read it aloud anyway. Sorry, I don't know what's here, but if it's all public anyway, I might as well read it. No need to read aloud. Actually, speaking of judges, I wanted to ask if I could clip one of your videos talking about values for the AA meeting I host. I think a lot of people would benefit from your words of wisdom. I'll DM you on YouTube if you're open to it. Yeah, no, totally. Feel free. I don't know if I did the very best job in explaining my feelings on that, but you are free to use any of this. Everything I put out into the public space is public, and it's not going to hurt my feelings if anybody uses it in any way that makes sense for them. If I didn't want people to use anything I put on YouTube or Twitch, I shouldn't put it out there. So it's out there in the public sphere. It's all you, man. So no worries about it. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate that. I think that's a real nice, cordial way of doing that. Much appreciated. Yeah, totally. Totally. Castor has... Did he run? Yeah, he ran. I'm gonna get Castor again. He's gonna carry so many swamp puppies to the front after we get the dragons. Do we trade? No. We're just gonna bring everybody else but dragons to the front. Now is gonna be the time to hit M, just to buy whoever we got. And we're probably gonna leave griffins for now. And that way Agar has some relief if he's not able to outrun Ariel. He will be, but it'll be fine. Okay. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the recovery community. Big fan of the recovery community. And I'm very quickly going to be dipping my toes back into that water. I've taken a little bit of a break, not only personally, as far as being involved in the community, but also professionally. As I've mentioned, I've had some professional ties to the recovery community. Taking a little bit of a break, not because I'm tired or I don't want to do it, but it can burn you out a little bit if you're not careful. There's something to be said, I think, about when done right, it's going to take a lot out of you. The care and concern for the individual person, you love them with all your heart and you want to see them do well. And if you don't have that tender care and concern, I don't think you're going to have nearly so good of outcomes. But unless you have exquisite boundaries, it will take a toll on you. I am sorry to say that my boundaries are merely okay, and over time it does start to wear on me a little bit. And so I've had to take a little bit of a break. I'm thrilled that I'm going to have the opportunity again professionally now to come back into that sphere. It's been a weird road for the last little bit where I've done some other job type stuff, and it's going to be really, really nice to be back into something that it feels like what I do matters. It feels like what I do matters. I'm the kind of person where if I'm working a job where it's not useful, then I feel very, very bad about whatever I'm doing. I have to be in a space where I'm of value or needed. Otherwise, I'm just not personally very, very happy. That's not everybody. I know that may be just more me. But for example, I've worked jobs where I mentioned I worked in a factory type setting, and it was a great job, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it was good. There's nothing wrong with the job. But if the only way that you measure your success is whether or not you can get lots of product out the door, that just doesn't feel really good to me. That's not exciting. Sales, for that matter, is not something that would really hang my hat on. It's not something I would take a lot of joy in doing, because great, I sold $1 million worth of whatever, but did I actually make any changes? You see what I'm saying? Everybody would sure like to sell millions of dollars worth of product, fine, whatever. But more than that, meaning is part of my personal satisfaction in a job, more than just the dollars and cents. And so, being back in the recovery community and working with individuals who are at risk in some way, shape, or form, that's something I really enjoy. And I'm really excited to get back to that. I'm ready. I've taken a long enough break. My heart is in a good spot, so we're good to go. We're good to go. Yeah. By the way, speaking of just life updates, so new professional opportunity there. That's going to be one nifty thing. It's day 7, so we're going to wait for day 1 before we do anything else. Purple is taking that little holding that we found over there. Still pretty tough. One new thing, by the way, and this is my more or less official announcement, so here it is. I am going to be stepping away from doing as many videos as I have been doing in the near future. And when I say near future, I mean that's going to be sometime in December, maybe in the tail end of November, for this reason. Baby number 2 is on the way. We got another little kit coming. The Phixfox family is getting bigger. So it's going to be a cute little family of 4, and I'm very excited for it. And that's going to be a time where I got to put my money where my mouth is, and I talk about how important family is, and I mean it. I really do. And so part of that is going to be me spending time making sure that the nest is good at home and making sure that my dear sweet wife is loved and supported. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Congrats, my friend. Thank you so much. Yep, Rise to Ruin. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yep. Yeah. It's been a little bit of a gap between baby number 1 and this upcoming baby number 2, but it's great. The little kiddo, the little tyke, he's ready to be a good big sibling. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's time for us to trade. Sorry. It feels weird to give you whiplash and go from one happy thing back to the game, but that's just kind of how life is. There's a little bit of whiplash here and there. We're gonna trade for a little bit more sulfur, and rather than upgrade these green dragons, we're just gonna leave them as are. They're gonna be fine. It'll be okay. We're gonna bring 3 more dragons to the front, and we're gonna bring everybody but hydras this time. And so then if we do get backdoored by the enemy, there's gonna be plenty of high quality troops here waiting in the wings, ready to go. And let's continue our offensive more to the west than anything. Crodo's got 23 out of his 40 spell points. With 12 spell power, he needs every ounce of spell points he can get. So we're gonna wait on him so he can get full spell points heading out tomorrow. And let's see if we get attacked here. I'm worried about, I believe it's Castor. Yep, I was worried about Castor, and down goes Castor. Phixfox putting the magic in Heroes of Might and Magic community. I appreciate that. That's very kind words. Very kind indeed. Yeah. It's a good community. It's a very good community. I'm very happy to be a part of it. Very happy to be a part of it. Brings me a lot of joy. Okay. So, I'm going to do something that you don't usually see me do. I'm going to move as fast as I can without thinking. No thinking, just moving. Just going as quickly as I can. There's going to be times, I'm sure, where I stop and I slow down, and that's okay. When the time comes to just be an animal, you got to be an animal, and you can't slow down. This is a runaway train with no brakes. And so let's just speed our way through this thing. We're going to take out ogres because sure, why not? Whoa, that was way more losses than I thought it would be. Oops, okay. I don't even know what we lost, but it was more than I wanted to lose. We're going to send another hero up here in just a second. It's going to be this guy. Who's this guy? I don't know. Alamar. Actually, Maximus the Knight has level 3, so we're going to send him up the road. He's going to be just the supporting hero, picking up knickknacks. We're going to get another little hero. Yeah, we are. We are. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm excited. And not because I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I remember that kid number 1 was really good for me because there was, and I've talked about this on videos, kid number 1 was really good for me as a person because I had to like put somebody else first. I love it. I'm very excited for it. Tell you what though, that is a little bit of a rough time when the baby is brand new and you are not sleeping. I'm the kind of person that doesn't sleep just because I'm checking on the kid. I'm like popping into the room and just, you know, hey, you doing fine? Even if you're sleeping peacefully, I just gotta make sure that everything's a-okay. We're gonna go play containment. Falgar's gonna go this way. And who is this? Agar? Agar's gonna go this way. I don't think that we're gonna lose to either of these heroes. Yeah, a few phoenixes. We've dropped the phoenix count by so much that we're gonna be just fine. But I just wanna make sure that they don't get away. Yep, we've more or less sandwiched them in. Green player has been vanquished. Wonderful, green player has been vanquished. Folks, the map is heating up. Rather than send Agar this way, it's just gonna be Falagar that defeats Atlas. If we can't defeat Atlas here, we're doing something wrong. Glorious victory for 1 Griffin. I'm just gonna accept those losses. I say those losses, I mean that 1 single Griffin. Agar's gonna push in this direction. We're not feeling any pressure from purple from the south, so I'm not in any kind of rough spot here. Do I really need the knowledge? Let me go check. 5 knowledge. I could use an extra 3 to 5 knowledge. I don't remember exactly how much that is, but it's going to be enough. We can deal with this. 9 gargoyles. I'm going to accept that. We're definitely taking the logistics. Maximus is doing his job as a gopher, and he is gophering all the stuff. Again, no pressure from the south. This castle is mine. No chance. They have no chance of beating me here. Enemy has surrendered. Their cowardice cost them a little bit of gold. That's great. Leadership here. Does this castle have much? It does. Well upgraded. Very fantastic. Interesting point of strategy. This map does not have a lot of castles on it. Many of towns, but not a whole ton of castles. And that does kind of matter a little bit. We're going to lose those gargoyles. Rogues want to attack us. They're going to die very, very quickly. That's +3 knowledge. Picking up the orb since we're right here. Picking up the experience because it seems good. Up on the luck. Luck, by the way, being one of the best secondary skills you can get when you have dragons because it's one of the ways you can buff up your dragons. When Otherwise, you can't use spells and stuff like that. So luck, morale, attack skill, and defense skill, very good for dragons. You meet an old wizard friend of yours traveling in the opposite direction. He presents you with a gift, a wand that prevents the use of the Dispel magic spell on your allies. So my troops are immune to the Dispel spell. I don't know how I feel about this artifact. It's good. It's like a relic type artifact. It's generally known to be very excellent. It's kind of whatever. It's I struggle to use it well. There are better players out there than me who probably use it very, very well. How about that? Ambrose, oh buddy, I'm sorry. You don't have a chance here. This is not going to go well for you. Glorious victory. We're going to accept these losses as well. And I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't just have the enemy wiped off the face of the map there. I figured that we would actually see another player defeated. We've already had green go down. I was expecting that we would see blue as well there. Not looking forward to diaper changes or projectile whatever. Haha. Yeah. Oh, we know exactly what that's going to be. And it's going to be, yeah. Did you know, and I'm stealing this joke shamelessly from Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian whose main bit was always about you might be a redneck if. That's Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck if you are, if the UFO hotline limits you to 3 calls per day. If the UFO hotline limits you to 3 calls per day, you might be a redneck, right? That's Jeff Foxworthy. And he also has a bit where he talks about new babies. And he's like, did you know that new babies are sickened by the smell of a clean shirt? It's true. Put a clean shirt in front of a baby, they're going to throw up just like that. I think that's pretty funny and pretty accurate, which is exactly how I like my jokes. I like my jokes to be grounded in reality and also very funny wherever possible. We're going to pick up another bit of ghosts here. Alamar's actually going to just steal the centaurs real quick and the griffins for that matter. Oh, and we're going to split up our troops like this so that way we don't accidentally flame breath ourselves. Oh, where are you? Thalagar. Abandon mine, no problems. We beat mine. Pull the troops back over. Probably leave the gargoyles here. LMAO, jokes on the baby. I skip laundry day. Ew. The baby's like, what is this? Baby, if you wanted a clean shirt, you shouldn't have thrown up on mine. Yeah. Okay. Man, kids these days are having it rough though. Kids these days have it pretty rough. I was talking with somebody. I'm not gonna say who, but I was talking with somebody, and we were discussing the COVID-19 era and the impact it had on kids. Chris is back. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Did you know that math scores during the COVID-19 dipped by about 10%? Kids are doing 10% worse on math tests now than they ever were doing before. And aside from doing worse on math tests and the likes, they are worse in attention span. They're worse in every major measurable statistic possible. And here in 2024, it still has not recovered. That's crazy to me. That's so crazy to me that here we are, like, what is it, 5 years later after COVID-19, and the test scores from kids still haven't recovered. That's so crazy. It really gives some credence to the idea of like the iPad generation and iPads being bad for kids, because you say to yourself, look, I mean, if your attention span is to nothing, if you've lost a lot of your structure from your day-to-day life because of COVID, like it takes a pretty big toll on you. And oh man, apparently teachers and educators and lots of people are saying that it still has not gotten any better. Very strange, very strange. Actually, if you ask me, COVID-19 has changed the world. Things don't feel the same since. I think so. I think you're completely and utterly correct. And I say that without reservation. Something changed. The meme, of course, is that here in America anyway, there was the gorilla Harambe. Maybe you've heard about Harambe. And the kid fell into the enclosure. An old sea captain is being tortured by ogres. You save him, and in return he rewards you with a wondrous instrument to measure the distance of the star. I'm going to melt that down for its value in gold because I don't think I actually need that at all. And after the kid fell into the gorilla enclosure, they had to shoot the gorilla, Harambe. And people have pointed to that moment and said, you know what? Things have been a little bit weird since then. That is where we had a shift in our dimension. And we've never really recovered. It was a divergent timeline sort of a moment. And I say it partway joking and partway like, yeah, but you got a point there. So I can see that. I studied aerospace engineering, and 90% of the math I learned I can't remember, never mind teaching it. But the question is, who was the person measuring that 10%? Was he tested for his math literacy post-COVID? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. I agree with that. Who's doing the watching? Who's watching the watchers? Chris says it seems that things have gotten or have been in a tinderbox state since. People in the UK are very tetchy and quick to anger. Yeah, so you're noticing just in the way that people are interacting with each other, that they're interacting with people on a different basis. So let's list all the ways that we think that society has taken a tumble. Our person-to-person interactions, according to Chris, are worse. Like people are like less forgiving, less nice to each other, things like that. I think I could definitely see that. People are more self-centered and less likely to be helpful or supportive of others. I think I can see that. General smarts and test scores have taken a dive. Okay, yeah, that seems pretty apparent to me. I could be wrong, but that seems pretty apparent to me. Work and productivity in general. Now, my spiel on that is this, is that I feel bad for all of the people that say, no, I need to work in person instead of working from home. People have proved that you can work from home and be very, very efficient and effective. And really, it's a lot of middle management that says, what am I going to do for my job if I'm not middle managing somebody, if I'm not micromanaging somebody and just making sure that they're sitting at their desk in the morning, right? So work productivity has still gotten a little bit weird. Mental health in general has fallen off of a cliff. I mentioned that there are the people that, that routines were broken. We're not just talking about, your average everyday person. I don't think people realized how important their routines were. And when that routine was upended, it's still difficult for people to reach that same level of comfort, care, kind of be in that groove, if you know what I'm saying. I think that people are still struggling with that in a big, big way. Same thing on this side of the pond, man. It's almost a polarizing behavior. People have strived and others have suffered the change in dynamics, really, not just here then. Yeah, I think that's a general all-around fair thing. Maybe it partially, we can say, maybe it partially comes from the issue of, well, major world pandemic, and people were pumped with fear, right? Like, people were absolutely pumped full of fear, and with a lot of good reason. It's especially when there's this pandemic and it's everywhere. Bird flu, swine flu, Ebola. I mean, you hear that kind of stuff and you should be a little bit concerned, I think, in general, right? You should be concerned. And something about that fear tends to bring people down to their baseline of looking out for number one. Maybe that's just my theory. Maybe I'm not reading the tea leaves correctly, but I wonder if there's something to that, where we all got a little bit more self-centered because of this major world-shaking event where there was a lot of uncertainty. Rice Ruin says, agreed. People at risk, especially in the mental health industry. I'd even go as far as to say that people working in the field as well. Definitely. Yeah, resources were absolutely strained at the height of COVID. I used to have a binder full of resources for people to go to, everything from food shelters to, Salvation Army type things. Hey, I need a bed frame. Where do I go for that? Well, this church helps out with things like that, and these people help with this, and this organization does this, and a lot of those resources, I would say at least 25% of those resources I had in my binder are no longer operating because they were just overwhelmed and they collapsed. They were overwhelmed and they just collapsed. So I hear that loud and clear. Chris, I personally have bipolar disorder, so my mental health isn't great, but I cope. Yeah, and the ways you cope, if that's upended by a pandemic, that can be a massive deal for you. So if you're doing great now, wonderful. But a genuine concern for anybody for whom their routine is very useful in helping them be at tip-top shape. I'm sure you would agree. As you make your way along the forest road, the vegetation nears the trees springs to life as a small horde of thieves concealed in holes beneath the brush ambush your party. Before your men can react, you find a knife at your throat, and their leader steps from the bush to confront you. A handsome fellow, his grin is almost friendly. A few valuables are a small price to pay for your life, don't you agree? They rob you blind. Where was my one black dragon in that whole encounter? Dude, this is your time to shine. This was your chance to like defend my honor, and you're just like, oh no, you got this, man. Pay the man his 500 gold and his 1 gem. Come on. I'm just like, no, I don't want to. What am I paying you for? Okay, we're not gonna go through these magi just yet. I see trading post. I see stone lifts. I'm just gonna go in this direction for now. Oh, and this takes us to this area. I don't think that this has been touched much, so we're gonna try and divulge this area of its resources. Told you, beefy Cyclops boy would have had your back. Rise to ruin. He's correct. I can't say you're wrong. I think he would have. I think that whole encounter would have gone much, much better. We're gonna wait 1 turn just because I think that these Minotaurs are going to join up for a double hex attack, probably right here. Ah, but the terrain is really bad for this fight, actually. Well, if nothing else, we can focus on Minotaurs here. And we're just going to prevent lots of extra damage going on to our heroes, isolating these fights, as it were. You've probably heard me say that a time or two. Here, this shouldn't be too big of a problem. 9 down to 7. Oh, good luck. That feels good. Yeah, they closed down all the support groups due to COVID and never reopened them. Money cut back, apparently. I used to find them very useful. Now I rely on online groups, which are great, but not a substitute for meeting in real life. I cannot agree more with you. That's a very, dare I say, I feel like that's like a more nuanced approach that some people might not understand. They say, well, you have an opportunity, it's still there. It's really not the same if it's not in person. Technology is so good, but the connections online are just not the same. You can do business, you can hold meetings via Zoom. You can't get as much meaningful personal support unless you're in person. That's just my 2 cents. Telehealth, teletherapy, all this stuff, it can be very, very good, and it fills a unique role, and it's good. But my personal opinion is that in person is always just going to be superior. Purple's down here. Folks, we haven't seen anybody for a hot minute. Are they scared of us? I would be scared of us. I would be terrified of us, actually. Not too many more obelisks here on the map. I'm not able to pick out exactly where that is. I'm not going to spend the time just yet. I probably could figure it out if I spend a lot of time, if it's currently in my explored terrain here, but I'm not going to spend the time just yet. We'll get a couple more of these obelisks, see if we can find a very unique adventure map object to help point us in the right direction, as it were. Vampires are just worth experience at this point. I might keep losing troops. I don't even want to fight these guys if they're going to cost me troops or time, for that matter. Let's get out of here. Oh, you stop that. That good morale was supposed to be for the dragons, and you've ruined it. How could you? We're going to keep the dragons far, far away from each other. Don't want to accidentally torch ourselves. Never a good thing. There's the good morale, though. From here, if I just hit Q, do I still lose 2 griffins? Whatever. This ever-hot lava rock, I don't really need it. And I don't really think I'm going to come back for those extra 1,000 gold per week from this water wheel. Is Falagar wasting his time here? Yeah, he's wasting his time if he goes to go pick up this ore mine. That's going to be like 6 days. 3 days that way, 3 days back. There's more important things for him to do at the moment, so let's head out. We'll come back for those yellow towns later. But for now, meh, just don't care. Once again, the afternoon sun sits low in the sky, almost invisible through the tree cover. Perhaps that is why you do not see the thief swing across the road from a handy vine until it is too late. In the time it took you to blink, he swung past you, taking your money purse with him on the end of his knife. You turn your crossbow to the trees and cry out in shock and surprise. Too late, the brazen thief is gone. Worth noting, that was the 4th time that something like that has happened, and none of these guys have had karma catch up to them. Not one. Not once has karma caught up to them. They say crime doesn't pay. I'm starting to think that maybe I should turn to a life of crime. Maybe I should be some sort of like baron or pirate king, because it seems to be quite lucrative for these gentlemen. And so why not me? Why not me? This is tremendously interesting. I just realized, folks, look at this. Look at these trees. Trees all around. There's this one gap here. There's probably a gap here. But if you go into this swampy area in the middle, look, there's artifacts, there's obelisks, there's some good stuff here. I think that before we try and defeat purple, I think it behooves us to actually send our primary hero, who right now is still Crodo. Yeah, he's level 13. We're going to try and send him over here. Wow, but you got to go so far to get there. Interesting. Huh. We're going to pick up this observation tower, and then that'll help us decide how we should best go in there. But there's kind of 2 circles. There's this outer circle, and then there's this inner circle that has very limited access points, these kind of choke points. You can't just do a straight shot from this outer beltway into the center. You have to go all the way up north, or I'm guessing south. We're going to get a better picture in just 1 second, though. So let's head on up. Would actually love to have a lift that'll take you from the north side of the map down to the south. I would actually really appreciate that at this point. Whoa, look at that. My word. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Oh my word. Look at these blue knights. Just hanging out. Agar's tough, but he's only got 1 black dragon. I don't know. It's going to take us more than 2 turns to get there. That means you're going to get 1 extra day's worth of growth. I think that we just want to go down the road, but head up. Compass of mobility, super good, but a pack of bone dragons is just too much for me to handle right now. I will defeat these ogres since it's right here. I'll accept it, whatever. And pathfinding. We're going to take the pathfinding because it seems good to me, number 1. And number 2, we've already seen some swampy terrain in there. That pathfinding will help. Maybe if we combine our forces, maybe we feel better about fighting knights. We'll see. Maximus is kind of a waste at the moment. Hold on, did you just see that? What are the Archmagi even guarding? Nothing. The answer is nothing. And one of the nice reasons for the FHeroes2 map editor, they have the ability to get pathfinding on. Passability is the way that they put it. With that passability, you can just tell while you're putting down adventure map objects and trees and monsters, if you can get around that or not. Ah, JACLYN is going to get a lot of gold very quickly. Huh, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Crodo is still the main hero, but I'm going to send everything over for now. And we'll give him just the 1 black dragon. We're going to send Crodo up the road to the north. All the way back home? Probably not all the way back home, but pretty far. And so that way he can get the big force of black dragons and then head south into purple's terrain in that direction. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea. We'll find out. Agar did pick up some nice spells though, so he's ready to do good for us. We just have to give him the opportunity. Maximus is going to continue, walk right by those Archmagi, because why not? I don't really want to fight the Archmagi if I don't have to. It just doesn't feel useful to me. And then, yeah, 8 black dragons. We've got plenty of troops ready to go. Let's just purchase everybody. Whoa, what? There we go. Purchase everybody. We're going to leave behind the Hydras. And I guess we might as well get a good start along the road. Let's see if we can get Crodo to cut through, to meet up. I think we can get him to cut through here, actually. Yeah, it looks like I turned and I went in the wrong direction. If he can safely get there, we're going to be feeling okay. So let's see if we can safely get there or not. I'm guessing that purple is the big dog here. They just seem to have the most presence on the map. And whether it's knight troops or whether it's necromancy troops, I mean, the necromancer troops are just going to be better. Bone dragons are far superior to crusaders. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't get into the mage guild overnight. We have up to 80 spell points available. We only have room for a little bit. Aha! JACLYN. She has also been here. And she is going to be a good way for us to get to this gold mine there. That tells me an awful lot, actually. And I'm very glad that we're taking her out now, as opposed to waiting. So, very good. Very big pickup. That's been my word of the day for the last little bit, by the way. Have you noticed? Pickup. That's a nice pickup. That's a nice bonus. That's a nice advantage. That's a nice thing that we've been able to add to our collection. There's lots of different ways to say what I'm trying to say, but occasionally I get stuck. And that's been my word of the day most recently. Whoa, I lost a black dragon. I planned on blinding or something. Whoops, my bad. Whoops, even a curse would be fine, because then you just half their damage. Come on, Phixfox, you're killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Alright. Of all the troops to lose, that's not the one. Whatever. Alright, we'll just accept it. We'll take the wisdom, because why not? And I might as well grab these artifacts because they're just right here. Blue is not trying to fight me, they're trying to get around me. Purple is running. Purple is here. Gem's not that tough. We're gonna take out both the blue heroes now. If it's just me and purple locked in an epic confrontation, that seems to be fine for me. Crodo is not gonna turn around and deal with goblins. He's got a plan. And that plan is to get lots of great creatures. We do have to turn around here with Falagar. Oh no, we can't reach JACLYN. She's got the barbarian pathfinding and we do not have that. This swamp is slowing us down. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. It's going to be Maximus going down, but for now, it doesn't hurt my feelings to deny 2,000 gold per day. And maybe pick up 2 nice 3rd level spells. Let's see if we can get JACLYN to actually waste some of her movement points. Maximus is just kind of there for me. He's alright, he's just kind of whatever. Scouting, sure. Cyclops takes the rest of my gargoyles. What's this? Gems. Very interesting. Finding nifty stuff in the tree line. And then we mentioned that we want to go to here. Is that the best way? I think I actually want to go through the south here. 7 black dragons might be enough to really just press our advantage, even though it's not on a great hero. That might be enough to just win. I actually wanted to check out that fight before I clicked right through it, and I messed that up. I needed to check to see just how tough JACLYN is. Advanced Pathfinding, very good. Time to purchase another hero as a scout. It'll be Vesper. Leaving the Centaurs. And taking the Gargoyles. All along this road just to see what's there. I'm guessing that it's hero or faction starting, faction and faction. I'm guessing that means that there's probably a lot of symmetry in this map. There's probably one town here, probably one town here, not a lot in the middle. And that means that if you are trying to play this map against your friends, you probably actually want to start off as the Sorceresses. I think that Sorceresses have the best chance of winning, and here's why. If you're going to get pressure, you're going to get pressure from the Knights, which you should beat, and from the Warlocks, but you want to focus your efforts on the Warlocks to take their town. Knights have the worst spacing because they want to take out the Sorceresses first, probably, more than Necromancers, because the troops blend better with the Sorceresses and the Knights. But then you're too far away and you might give the Warlocks a chance to breathe. Warlocks are good if you cannot take all this aggression, but smart enemies will say, look, I've got to prevent you from getting dragons because it's going to be the strongest fighting force in the game unless you take one of these towns like, you know, Warlocks or Wizards. So yeah, I think that if I had my druthers, I think that number 1 position is probably Sorceresses, number 2 position is probably Warlocks, number 3 is probably Necromancers, number 4 is the Knights. You have a good argument for saying that the Knights and the Sorceresses, or excuse me, the Sorceresses and the Necromancers are on the equal footing. I think you have a good argument for that. It's just my 2 cents as I'm throwing this out here, now that I know a little bit more about the way that this map plays out. So, I don't know if one black dragon can beat JACLYN. I've got lots of spells. I can do it. Identify hero. Mass haste. Ooh, 2 excellent spells. My word. Real quick, let's cast Identify Hero. Because any hero on the adventure map we can now see. Sabu, level 3, 5 attack, 2 defense, couple of goblins. JACLYN, level 14. Level 14. 12 attack, 8 defense, 4 spell power, 6 knowledge, 21 spell points, but her troops are so minimal and she can't damage my black dragons with any spells. I think the Crodo can definitely defeat her. Not sure if you've already done it, but a Thieves Guild might be a good idea to see what yellow has in store. I have done it. I did pick up the Thieves Guild just for that reason. And there's no defenders in the yellow town here. It's just the dragons up front. Purple did take Blackwind. So I haven't seen hordes of Cyclopes come out of there or anything like that. So I'm guessing that, I don't know, maybe yellow is just there as a spoiler. Tough to say. I don't see the strategic advantage of really trying to defeat them at this time. Like, why have yellow at all? I don't have a good answer for you. Why have them? I don't know. I really can't tell you why, because I don't think we've seen a single yellow hero. Well, I think that there was Phineas right here, but he was behind dragons. So how useful is he? I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird thing to me. Huh, a tease? Haha, yeah. It's basically just a 4-player map. There's 5 factions, but it's basically a 4-player map. We're gonna get, Myra, level 1 hero, not too bad. We're gonna try and go north here. Dragon City, I see it as a possibility. Maybe not my favorite thing. Did she just pick up dragons? How did you defeat all the dragons with that little army? That's incredible. There's no way. No, you're kidding me. Hold on. Hold. Shut the front door. Okay. You're telling me that with 7 Ogre Lords, 5 War Trolls, a couple of Orc Chiefs, and a couple of Liches, you're telling me that you defeated, what, 5 dragons, 3 green dragons, 1 red dragon, 1 black dragon? Is that what you're telling me? That sounds like bull honky. That, I don't believe that for a second. That... Folks, there's a time in every person's life where they have to just sit on a beach, preferably fully clothed, because that's, you know, gonna prevent any issues with the law. And you just need to look out into the water and imagine all the sea creatures in the sea and all the grains of sand and say to yourself, what am I doing with myself? Am I this tiny infinitesimal speck in the universe on this little rock just floating around this big gas giant? Who am I? Where am I going? What's my purpose in life? The time to have that conversation with yourself is on a beach somewhere. It's not right here, right now. Yeah, this existential crisis that we're having right now should not be happening here in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 because we lost this fight that there's no way we should lose. Let's fight and see what in the world's about to happen. This makes no sense to me. This makes no sense. Valagar's a pretty good hero. By the way, we do have the diplomacy if we need to run. But you're telling me, I mean, she's tough. 12 attack, 8 defense. She's tough, but I mean, come on. The nice thing is this, is that we do have spells. Not a lot of spells, but we do have the magic arrow. That'll take out 3 power liches at a time, pretty much. Yeah. Valagar is having an existential crisis, as are all these troops that thought that this was going to be a very easy fight. I do believe that the best thing for us is just the spell damage. 2 liches go down. If I'm going to win, I have to try and put damage onto these red dragons. 48 to 97, you're telling me that my black dragons are going to do that little damage. 21 defense skill versus my 14 attack. So basically I'm doing 35% reduced damage. That's why that's happening. Yeah, we're gonna lose this fight, and that's so very sad. Thankfully, we're gonna retaliate onto the liches here. Oh, never mind. We did even better. Did even better. Maybe we can find a way to get these red dragons to obliterate the rest of their forces. We'll see. We'll do the best we can. Jeez. Ogre Lords did 77 damage. Ha. Oh. Well, let's take out single stacks where we can. Please kill 2 orcs. Oh my gosh, you can't even kill 2 orcs. That's so sad. 193 hit points left on these red dragons. My goodness. 100 points of damage onto these Ogre Lords. Oh, that kills 1 Ogre Lord. Jeez. Yeah, we've got to do the best we can here. Oh my gosh, we're going to lose all 3 dragons here. No, never mind. Hyperbole. There was a little bit of hyperbole there. Oh my gosh. This is so bad. This is so bad. And it's a good thing that we control pretty much all the dragons in this scenario, because we do. Other than these dragons right here, we control all the dragons in this scenario. It probably would have made a lot of sense to just have fled. But at this point, I feel obligated. I feel like I have to. I simply must do my very best to kill at least 1 red dragon. I feel like I have to. It's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. You're just gonna lose. Oh my gosh. And Falgar is too good of a hero to just lose. Yeah. Okay, well, folks, wow. I love that we just had a major issue there. And this is the thing. Might versus magic, which wins? It's more complicated than just that. But 12 attack and 8 defense goes a long, long way. We'll save the 2 Griffins' lives. And we're gonna have to get to this Dragon City soon. Otherwise, JACLYN's going to continue to get stronger with troops that I don't have a great way of dealing with. Whoa, there's lots of bone dragons there, 3 bone dragons. Let's head on back. We're about to be to a new week. It's gonna be Falgar that's gonna bring some of the troops up to the front, including these Hydras. That's actually gonna be pretty useful for us. Hydras are gonna be fairly useful. Magic Garden, Wilfrey can't get over here. Alamar's got 7 black dragons. He's got to be the one to kind of fight this for me, I think. And I'm less worried about purple than I am anybody else. We do need to get Crodo out of here. Which are stronger, black dragons or bone dragons? Excellent question. So the black dragons, their stats that are pretty relevant are the 25 attack to 50, 25 hit points, 25 to 50 damage per black dragon. 300 hit points. They're a 6-speed creature. They're very fast. 14 attack, 14 defense. Bone dragons are a 4-speed creature instead of a 6-speed creature. Bone dragons have 150 hit points instead of 300 hit points. I believe that they still do about the same range of damage. They do between 25 to 50 damage, I think. No, I feel like it's a little bit lower than that. And their attack skill and their defense skill is a little bit lower. But while they are definitely weaker than the black dragons, they do have some advantages. For example, because they're a 4-speed creature, they can sometimes go at a more opportune time in a battle, and they also are immune to certain disabling spells. That makes them maybe better than the Phoenixes, for example. But because the dragons are immune to every spell, that makes it a little bit of a wash. Although you can do things like steel skin your bone dragons, you can bloodlust them, things like that. So anyway, which is better? It is definitely the black dragons, but they're also much more costly, if that makes any sense. Black dragons are much more expensive to get. So, well, folks, that was quite the turn there. Yeah, that was quite the turn. Stay 6, there's no way we could get up to this Dragon City anyway. So let's just go back, try and defeat Ector. Oh gosh, this is great. Wonderful. Stupendous. Like Falgar, gotta run. You got this, broski. Have fun, and I'll catch you in the next one. Rise, I appreciate all the time and the good energy, man. Thanks so much. I will plan on catching you around in the next one. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Okay. We're gonna continue on this road. I still think that the battle is won, but in general, actually, you know what? Things have gotten a little bit interesting with that development. That's actually a little bit of an interesting development. That puts a major wrinkle in the way that I thought this scenario was going to play out, and I don't know how this is going to go now. I really don't. I'd like to chase Ector. I'm guessing that he's just always going to be faster than me. Let's try it. Wilfrey is exploring and doing a great job of it. Very thrilled. Taking a walk through the national park here. By the way, folks, I have to tell you, I have come up with a new hobby that I kind of enjoy. And this may sound a little crazy, and it may sound a little trendy, actually. Maybe that's better, maybe that's worse. I don't know, you tell me. I've really started to enjoy geoguessing. Not doing the geoguessing, but watching other people doing the geoguessing and doing it very, very well. The sound of the horse trotting is very relaxing. Hi, Phixfox wife. I am very glad that this is very, very relaxing for you. It's a very nice ambiance. Not to mention the music is so wonderful. But yes, believe it or not, the geoguessing where people are shown a random picture from Google Maps, and then they have to figure out where that picture was taken, what country, what city, things like that. That is actually something that I've started to say to myself that I truly enjoy. I never would have thought I would have enjoyed it, but I'm very impressed with the people that can do some really spiffing guesses. And it's not just a guess most of the time. They are, wow, look at this. They are putting together an awful lot of context clues, and they're being really wise in their deductions. So geoguessing is officially my new offhand kind of weird fun thing that I'm enjoying a little bit. I need to stop apologizing, by the way. I need to stop apologizing for my weird interests. I'm talking about geoguessing as if it's something that is a little bit embarrassing. You haven't told me about geoguessing? Yeah, a Phixfox wife, you would think that I would have told you by now. You would have. That's what I was doing all last night, was trying my own hand at it, funny enough. Until like early in the morning. Blue player's been vanquished. Just me and purple now. Me, purple, and yellow. Red, yellow, and purple remain. And purple is tough. Okay. But I need to stop apologizing for liking things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy Heroes of Might and Magic. It's not weird to enjoy something or to have a hobby. It's not childish to enjoy a nice relaxing video game that tells a wonderful story. It's not childish to enjoy a superhero movie or something. You know, whatever your personal interests are, you know what? You shouldn't have to apologize for that. You should just enjoy yourself, and nobody should be able to tell you that that's not okay. So I need to do better with that, about not putting myself in the corner and saying, oh, it's a little bit weird, but you know, I really like this thing. Geoguessing, it's cool, man. I don't care who you are. Geoguessing is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, man, you haven't heard about geoguessing? You're gonna love it. Don't worry. It's great. It's great. If you're talking about enjoying weird things, I've just gotten into the world of reaction videos. If they be movies, TV series, or just plain music videos. So watching people watch stuff. Is that kind of what we're talking about? Like, I think you've mentioned Game of Thrones, so you know about Game of Thrones. So like watching the people's reactions to the final scenario or the final episode of that, or reacting to like a crazy situation that pops up, stuff like that. Yep. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Yeah. You know what? And I completely agree with you. It's good quality entertainment. It really is. I look at some people, they have this innate ability to entertain in a way that is just stupendous. And they could really talk about pretty much anything, and I could be interested. It's less about the content and more about them as a person putting themselves out there. So what is your favorite thing that you've gotten to see somebody react to? What is one of the things that stands out to you that made you say, oh yeah, that was a pretty good one? Anything that comes to mind, anything in particular? Vesper is close to dying. We're just gonna get him out of here. Go in this direction. Because I'm always looking for recommendations personally. I'm always looking for new fun stuff I can enjoy. Okay, good there. 2 purple heroes, 3 purple heroes, 4 purple heroes, 5 purple heroes. Let's keep track of these guys. JACLYN, Myra. JACLYN was the tough one, wasn't she? And now she's got a real bare bones army. I want to take her out while she's weak. I don't know how likely that is. We're going to have to do our very best with that. I really want this Dragon City. I want to claim these dragons for myself. I feel like I must. Alamar is the secondary hero. It was just his job to bring all these troops up to the front. I think I need the might of the Hydras. I hate to bring the Hydras on the road and be so slow. I think I have to bring them, though. We go to the center, or do we go to the south? I think that there's plenty of good stuff up here, including artifacts. Let's take the artifacts, you know, +2/+2. That's not a small thing. Let's take all that, and then we'll go south, and we'll start dealing with some castles. Thalagar's going to be fairly fast. It's going to go here, just hang out for a moment. Yeah, let's actually just hang out for a moment. Wilfrey, I mean, geez, where'd you get black dragons? Ector has black dragons. Look, folks, this map is not over by a long shot. They are up to black dragons. We are in trouble. This is wonderful. Yep, well, so far I've been watching Gen Z people watching reactions to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Every reaction has yet to say a bad thing about that performance. Yeah. Always fun to see the older generation react to the younger generation stuff. Always fun to see the younger generation's reactions to older things. One of my favorite sayings as we run very, very far away, very, very fast. One of my favorite sayings, especially when it comes down to like, hey, you went to Woodstock? You did all this crazy stuff? Is old people saying, man, you young people think that you guys invented sex or living rambunctiously or all these funny things. I just think that's a funny way of approaching it. And I appreciate it very, very much when it's like, oh yeah, we probably didn't. It's probably been around for a hot minute. I'm Gen X, I'm 45 years old. Yeah, Chris, I dig that, man. I dig that. And so you're right in that you're kind of in between, like, you know how to use technology really, really well, but you also like have a great appreciation for like what? I don't know, maybe not 70s rock and roll, but like 80s rock and roll. I don't know. I don't want to quantify you. I don't want to like put you into like a little box or a bubble as if I know you just based off of your demographic. What am I? Somebody trying to, you know, sell something to you and oh, you're a male at 45 years old. This is what you should be interested in. I'm not going to pigeonhole you like that, but others will try to. But you're still probably in that generation where you're right in between, you know, some of more of the old school stuff and some of the new school stuff. It's weird to think of it in those terms, perhaps, though. Old school versus new school. Maybe that's very much not a nuanced approach. Maybe I'm just shooting myself in the foot by even trying to theorize or speak to it at all. We're heading north. We got to pick up all this. We got to pick up all of this. Even going through Genies, we may lose some troops, but this is going to be pretty valuable for us. Let's consolidate our forces. Hold on, real quick. Quick pause. Here's what we have, by the way. We have 11 black dragons here on Crodo. We have 4 red dragons here. We've lost the rest of our dragons. We've got 15 potential black dragons. If we can get some attack skill behind one of these heroes, Agar is probably the better one for that. We can do something pretty nifty. Spells are not going to be as useful, and so Agar has now become the best hero because he's got more attack skill and defense skill. Funny enough. I know that we switched to Crodo. I think that we actually need to switch right back because might is going to be more important than magic here. We have to break the enemy's offensive. Whoever that purple hero is that just wandered too close to us, they're going to go down real quick. 3 griffins, not a problem. And so let's get Agar back up where he can be useful. 22 Hydras. Jeez, there's so many Hydras out here. They're slowing me down the entire time, but I really don't think I regret the decision to bring them. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake. Let's split troops just in case we get attacked. I don't think I really care about saving Alamar, but he could be useful. Vesper's just going to go grab this gold mine. Water wheel. And I gotta tell you folks, this map feels like I need to win in the next little bit or else. And here's how I mean. If I don't win in the next little bit, the enemy has more well upgraded castles than I have. And that could spell my doom. Having not invested in that wizard castle that has giants potentially in the background, that could mean that I have a very limited window to overwhelm my enemies. And if I don't take that opportunity, I might just lose. So it feels like I need to really do a decisive blow here. I got to keep JACLYN away from Ector's several black dragons, or else I'm cooked. I'm absolutely cooked. And so I'm going into this position, so hopefully I can catch up to her. We will see what she does. Even if it is heavy losses, I need to defeat her as quickly as possible, I think. Chris says 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. 90s being my standout decade, and yes, I know how to use tech. My normal job is IT support. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. Sorry. See, and I feel like I was probably offensive by saying, so you know how to use technology, and you're just like, yes, I know how to use a telephone and a fax machine and I know how. You're like, hey, I'm not that old. Come on. So sorry, no offense. Yeah, my first computer was a Spectrum 128K plus 3. You might or might not know what that is. I don't, but I am very familiar with the old Commodores. That was our first family computer. And so I think that the Commodore is a little newer than the Spectrum, I believe. But I remember all it did was play the lemonade stand game where you put in inputs and you do the simulation and you try and make money doing a lemonade stand. You might or might not know what that is. Also, I was part of the 90s rave generation of ease and trance music. Good times. I am all for it, man. Yeah, and I've never been huge into like the rave scene, but I really enjoy trance music. I really love industrial. I love, what do you quantify Daft Punk as? Whatever that is. It's not all the same, but they are within an arm's reach of each other, I feel, at times. When did you start streaming Heroes 2? Dream Fauna, thanks for asking. This stream is about 2 hours, 46 minutes in. We've been doing streaming. I've only been streaming Heroes 2 for the last 2 months or so. Maybe probably like the last month and a half. I've been doing videos on YouTube for the last, call it, since October or November of last year. And so I've got about 130 videos online. A lot of them are Heroes Might and Magic 2, some of them are Heroes 3, some of them are Factorial, things like that. But I've not been streaming on Twitch for that long. This is more of a new endeavor, and it's not necessarily something I think I can really devote a lot of time and attention to, because I don't have fast enough internet. We've just been talking about this earlier today. I'm currently at my local library because they have fast enough internet for me to stream. So I'm not streaming from the comfort of my own home. And so I can't be here at the library before or after hours. I can't be here, you know, at weird times. So that kind of limits how much streaming I can do. But I love streaming because it gives me the opportunity to actually talk to people and have a real good time with you guys. Oh, makes sense. I haven't really streamed for the last few months. I streamed a bunch of Heroes 2 myself before that. I need to get back and do it soon. Yeah, dude, I strongly encourage you to do it. I mean, yeah, if you've been doing a lot of it, it's one of my favorite games to play, and it's one of those games that's a classic. Everybody loves Heroes 2. Even the people that love Heroes 3 more, they tend to respect Heroes 2 in a way that just makes me happy. So just little fun little things like that. We're going to do something here, guys. We're going to try and keep the enemy from running. We're going to bless the Minotaurs. We're going to hope that 3 red dragons actually try and attack us. They do. So even if we lose the black dragon there, we're fine. We're going to get all these troops that are going to surround, attack, and in one fell swoop, I think we can take out all these troops. Zent's man. Hey, Zent's. Hey, guys. How you doing, sir? Speak of the devil. Zent's, my man. How you doing, sir? Appreciate it very much. Always a pleasure to have more or less the board of directors with us from the FHeroes2 team. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Blessed and bloodlusted, I'm going to hope that we can maybe kill these dragons with my black dragons and my Minotaur Kings. I'm going to hope we can do enough here. Happy to catch you here. Dream Fawn is a really good streamer. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to see them stream soon. They were mentioning that they were going to hopefully start up again soon. And the more people that stream Heroes 2, the better. Thank you. Always a pleasure to hang out when time permits. Wonderful. Wonderful. We do kill one red dragon here. We are down to 200 hit points on the top stack. This is a total of 450 hit points. It's not going to be enough. I'm going to try one last time. I'm going to not fight. I'm going to hope. And I'm going to pray that these red dragons just don't run. But chances are this is where they run. They don't run, folks. We did it. We climbed the mountain. We defeated JACLYN. Let's be clear about this. JACLYN the Barbarian is Purple's strongest hero, and we caught her at a time when she did not have a whole lot of troops. But with 13 attack, 9 defense, 9 spell power, and 12 knowledge, she is a terrific hero, a fantastic hero. Plus, not to mention, we have seen that Ector the Knight has several black dragons at least. You put several black dragons backed up by this attack and this defense, you are in for a real rough time. So the fact of the matter is this, is that even though the Minotaur teams were just blinded, we're going to cure them. They're going to get to go before this one red dragon. We might kill this one red dragon here. We do. And we're able to defeat an absolute powerhouse of a hero. Folks, that was probably the game. If we did not defeat JACLYN right there, we might have had this scenario spiral out of control very quickly. Dragon Sword of Dominion +3, plus on the morale. Elemental Ring, don't really care. Black Pearl, wonderful. Wizard's Hat, sure, why not? Another Dragon Sword of Dominion. Boost of mobility, power ring. Oh, folks, this was it. This is everything I needed. +5 to the knowledge. In fact, I'm guessing that we just ran out of artifact slots. We did, and that it suits me just fine. We became so good just right now. So thrilled for it. Absolutely thrilled for it. Wow. Holy cow, I talked and then all of a sudden the whole time chat. Let me just get caught up here. I'm decent, but I'm not insane enough to play on impossible like this one. You know what? Impossible difficulty, it just takes a little bit of a... I'll bet you'll do better than you think. I find that a lot of people are really humble when it comes down to their play in Heroes of Might and Magic, and there's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm not that good, but that's just because we think that everybody else around us is the bee's knees. I'm guessing that you're a pretty fantastic, pretty solid player. I'm guessing that on impossible difficulty, you do just fine for yourself. If Zens knows who you are, and if you've been streaming, I'm sure you do quite well for yourself, and I'm excited to see you kick ass and take names very soon. Chris is saying that Phixfox is a good player, never save scum. I don't save scum, that's true. Samuel's, oh geez. Am I getting attacked by bots? I am, we're gonna ignore those. You have a few bots in here. Nobody click on those sites. Let me see, how do I do this? Folks, I have no idea how to get rid of bots. I'm gonna need somebody to want to be my moderator someday, because I don't know how to do two things at once. I can't talk and play at the same time, let alone also try and deal with stuff in the chat. So do myself a favor. I would hate for anybody to click on a site and get malware, so don't do that. Zens is saying, I recall playing this map last year. I enjoyed it. I'm beating some crazy maps, I'll say that much. FHeroes2 has made me improve as a lot as a player. Totally. It's an excellent playthrough. It's an excellent engine. They've done an excellent job with the AI, and it will make you a better player, but also it makes the game so much more enjoyable. The quality of life buffs with FHeroes2 are tremendous. I'm a huge fan of everything that the FHeroes2 team has done. Because we just defeated those players, I'm trying to decide if I turn back around or not. Crodo is... we're going to push up into this territory. No, you know what? I'm changing my mind. 10 black dragons. Ector is probably pretty tough. He's not going to be tougher than me. He's not going to be tougher than me. I can do this. Who has Identify Hero? Did I lose that hero? Nope, there we go. Falagar. 10 attack, 9 defense, 7 bone dragons, or 12 bone dragons, 7 black dragons, 13 cyclopes. My word. My word. That actually changes my thought process a lot. We are going to go up. We're going to get this +2/+2 artifact. Probably not the Witch's Brooch. And we're going to have whatever heroes can come and support, try and help take excess artifacts off of our main heroes. We're going to seed the entire south of this map. We're probably not going to be going for the ultimate artifact in this playthrough. There are a couple of obelisks on the map we've seen, but that's just not going to be strategically the very best thing we can do at this time, I think. You were the first to beat the Price of Loyalty campaign on stream on FHeroes2. That is quite that's quite the achievement. I am very impressed, Dream Fauna. I'm thrilled to have you in the chat then. Thank you so much for spending the time to be here then. It's always nice to have a legend spend the time. I'm grateful for your time. Grateful to have the insight here. Chris is saying I'll moderate if you want me to stop stuff like that. Those campaigns were BS. I still have nightmares. Yeah, some of the price of loyalty campaigns absolutely are nuts. I think that we all agree if you've played those campaigns. There's some price of loyalty, scenario 2, for example, gives people nightmares all the time. And I don't think you can really change that. It gives people nightmares because you have to think in a different way than you usually do. And here's how I mean. You have to know when to run, and you have to know when to stand your ground. And usually, if you can't just overwhelm your opponent, then that's a little bit difficult for people to know when to play their cards and when to fold. And so there's some real strategy there. You have to have some good game sense to make that one work. And then, of course, the final scenario on the price of loyalty with Eben Fadland. Oh my gosh. I think that one's given me nightmares for years. They've gotten worse now since you played them a year ago. They've gotten worse? Zens, they got worse? What do you mean by that? Archibald's got nothing on you guys. Archibald was just a tutorial. Islands of Chaos took me a few sessions to beat, if that's the one you mean. I think it was. Yeah, Island of Chaos. You start off as the sorceress in the bottom left, and you have to work your way up the little land bridge into the knights and the barbarians. Meanwhile, the yellow warlock is to the east, gathering power, and they will overwhelm you whether you like it or not. So, that's the one. Yep, we agree. You have to be so aggressive. Certainly. Yep, we're on the same page with all that. And tactical with what you fight. Right, because if you choose to fight when you ought not to, and you take some really bad losses, then you're in a rough spot. I think that most people inherently know that if you have more troops on the battlefield, you can win more and lose less troops. And what I mean by that is you're going to take less losses if the fights are overwhelming as opposed to close. And so knowing when to pick your fights early on, even something like that, matters a lot. Really matters a lot. Sounds like a challenge. Yeah. I'm excited to see, because I haven't played through, I think I started in November of last year. We've had 5 or 6 patches since then. There's been an awful lot of changes to FHeroes2 since then. I'd be very excited to see what my next playthrough is going to be. I only have so much time to play, and so it's a bit of a struggle for me to go through campaigns and stuff like that again when I've already beaten them. Trying to balance doing new playthroughs and things like that, but it's definitely worth the time every time. Whoa. Hold on, did you guys just see that? Ector just walked right through Titans and Dragons like they were nothing. Like they were tissue paper. My word, that's a little bit scary. You come upon a bridge spanning a dry gully. Before you can cross, a troll steps out from under the bridge and demands payment before it will permit you to pass. You refuse, and the troll charges, forcing you to slay it. You take its spiked shield as a trophy. That is a +2 attack, +2 defense. We are going to pick up the boots. Those rogues had no chance. And since this Shrine of the Third Circle is here, we're going to do that. Not incredibly useful, but not too bad. +3 for the spell power for the Witch's Brooch. That's going to be okay too. Spells are not really going to be what wins me this fight. Going to be everything else. Dragon City, Agar can defeat that. I don't know why he didn't have to defeat that. Zents, maybe you know, maybe Dream, maybe you know. Generally, I thought that this Dragon City, you have to defeat it first, and then you defeat 5 stacks of 1 dragons each, black, red, and green. But then if the enemy wants to then recruit dragons, they then have to defeat the Guardians after 1 week has passed. Because then there's new dragons that have taken up the mantle as defenders. That was my understanding, but I don't think I just did that. I think that I just walked right in and just took those dragons for free without a fight. That feels wrong to me, so I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Heroes Might and Magic 1 recently. It's a good game. Oh gosh, I am way behind in the chat. They're harder than they were. Sounds like a challenge. What I find hilarious is how all over the place, the difficulty curve is for the price of loyalty campaign. Totally. Some maps are easier than others. Actually, Chris has been playing Heroes Might and Magic 1. It's quite a challenge. It's really a challenge. Heroes Might and Magic 1 feels like a struggle for me. I'm with you, Chris, 1000%. Zens is saying it sounds like we're going to get to watch some of Dream's streams. Yeah, so everybody, I've just met Dream today, but feel free, go check him out. I'd love to have people enjoy as much Heroes Might and Magic as possible. Dream Fauna, I'd still say it's way easier than 2 in general. talking about Heroes 1 versus Heroes 2. I'll be trying to do a stream tomorrow for a few scenarios. Good to know. It's been a while. And then Chris is saying we've joined. Zen's, Heroes 1 is fun to play. Got to get back to it sometimes. I did Heroes 1 on stream. Phixfox, the Dragon City needs to only be beat once. Only once as far as I know. Are you saying it's not working properly? This Zens may be one of those times where I am misremembering Heroes 2 to Heroes 3, because that does happen occasionally. Generally, the way that I remember things like this working is that if there is a dwelling like this and there are defenders, then say I defeat the defenders on day 7. By day 1 of the next week, if an enemy wants to take control of this Dragon City, then they need to then defeat the Guardians. That was my understanding. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, that's totally fine. Again, maybe one of those things I misremember from Heroes 2 to Heroes 3, because that happens, unfortunately, quite a bit. Okay. It does seem like it would add a certain degree of strategic value, make it easier for you to hold on to some of these troops that you might not otherwise hold on to. Oh my gosh, guys. These are a lot of genies. They are going to get some good luck. They have to. That's got to be what it is. They're going to get good luck, and they're going to half my stack of dragons once or twice. Genies are tough, but they're not that tough. 22 Hydras? You're telling me 22 Hydras isn't going to overwhelm these guys? Huh, let's see this. Never mind, they didn't even half the stack. They just straight up do 750 damage a stack. My word. Goodness gracious. Okay, good to know. See if we can defeat these guys. I'm fine with that. That doesn't hurt my feelings too bad. These genies are way tougher than I thought they'd be. If, when they attack the Hydras, they half the stack, I think I lose the fight outright. If they don't, I think I'm fine. We're going to do a blind lock, and we're going to try and keep our troops alive for as long as possible. There's some serious losses here. No retaliation. Yeah, if they don't half the stack of Hydras, we win. We just have to be a little bit careful. And there's no defense I can do against it. No anti-magic or anything like that, because one single genie can half the stack of creatures. It indicates it's a 10% chance to have the enemy. 7 more turns on the blind. Let's just have the Hydras wheel this in for us. I admit that I haven't extensively checked how the Dragon City works in the original Heroes 2. Could be wrong. Zens, I am always more inclined to go with your expertise and your sense in the matter. You and the FHeroes2 teams have done an amazing job. And I appreciate, I've mentioned before that the FHeroes2 team members are excellent Heroes of Might and Magic players, because you can't create a very good, smart AI and be dumb yourself. It's like a writer, like somebody who is an author trying to write a book. It's hard for a dumb person to write a smart character. In that same way, the FHeroes2 team members are all excellent players in and of themselves, and they do a great job in making the game wonderful. Good decisions as far as balance and features, just good decisions all around. So, just giving you your props. And no, I'm not paying Zens, or they're not paying me. Don't worry. If I was getting sponsored, I would let you guys know, but I'm not, and that's just fine. It's just fine. Actually, I've mentioned in the past, I kind of like the idea of keeping my amateur status. It's a small thing, but I like the idea of being, you know, just being under the radar. Feels good. Feels really good. It's time. It's time, folks. So, this map I've mentioned, it's going to get pretty squirrely. If we saw JACLYN again, I would throw up on my shoes. I don't think that's going to happen. We're going to take just the 6-speed creatures. We're going to get here as quickly as we can to the very center of the battlefield. And we're going to bring these troops probably down to here along the main road. And we're going to get Sorceress troops, because these Phoenixes have been accruing this whole time. And these 15 Phoenixes, under the right leadership, are going to do a lot of good for us. Do I really care about the elves and the greater druids? Not so much, but we've got plenty of gold, so we'll do that anyway. And plus, all these troops are pretty fast, unicorns being the slowest with average speed. If Ubisoft sponsored me, I might shut up for long enough, not insult them publicly. No promises, though. Vammy the Vampire. Hello, Phixfox. I've played around with this map and tried to beat it as a knight, and I haven't found a solution, nor someone who did it on YouTube as far as I know. Are you willing to beat this map starting as a knight? Yeah, I'm happy to give it a try. I'm very happy to give it a shot. We mentioned earlier, I gave some analysis just on the positioning in these fights, and here's what I've determined. The very best starting position is probably actually the Sorceresses or the Necromancers, in my opinion, because they have the opportunity to get the mid-game troops that can more or less scale and help you take the big bad warlocks. Knights have the worst position because, okay, so I use all my forces, I exhaust myself, and then I take over the Sorceresses. Then what? Then I have to deal with the warlocks who are way too far away from me. Knights have a very tough position here in the bottom left corner. I think you're absolutely right, Vamp. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, though. I shouldn't say just a little bit of a challenge. It should be a downright struggle. How about that? Thanks for the compliments. I'm probably the least experienced Hero 2 player on the team, and yet you're one of the ones I spend the most time talking to. You and iHub. So yeah, it's a great team, and I appreciate you all very, very much. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'm trying to figure out ways I can help support and be valuable, knowing that I don't have a lot of technical skills, but I'll do the best I can. Falgar is just kind of waiting. I've got a lot of heroes that are just kind of waiting, and that doesn't hurt my feelings too bad. Agar is going to be this hero that I hope to get some of these Phoenixes with. I beat this map as a Sorceress. Knight sounds like it could be tough. This map has a lot of space. Haven't played it though. Haven't spent a lot of time with the scenario maps. Mostly just the campaigns. Yeah, it's been really nice for me to have completed the campaigns and gotten those behind me, just so I can now kind of move on to these single-player scenarios a little bit more. It was very funny because when I started doing the single-player When I started doing the single-player scenarios, it seemed very apparent to me very, very quickly that that's what people wanted to see more than anything, if view counts and things like that matter at all. And I'm happy to play any Heroes of Might and Magic map. There's a saying on a t-shirt I saw the other day that made me laugh, and the saying was, any day fishing is better than any day of court-ordered anger management therapy. And while I don't know a lot about that, any day playing Heroes of Might and Magic is definitely better than any other day where I'm doing pretty much anything else. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. I'm probably one of the only people to do betrayal runs on FHeroes2 on stream as well, on both sides. I think I got a lucky attempt, Vam says. Lucky attempt and somehow beat the Warlocks with Knight. Nice, nice. But even then I got stomped by the Necros in the end. Yeah, it's kind of this, A can beat B, but then C and D are kind of here in the wings ready to eat you up. It makes for a very dynamic sort of map where if you exhaust yourself against one enemy, you're going to be in trouble. Have you guys ever played the map Slugfest? It's a very small map, and all 6 factions on the map are represented. Slugfest has all 6 factions, and there's lots of different terrain. It's a very beautiful type of map. I really enjoy the map. But there's an element in Slugfest that I think applies to this map as well, and that is this. You have to know when to just stay back and let the enemies fight each other so that you can jump out at the last second and obliterate them. Slugfest is very, very much a map where you have to do a lot of that in order to be the one that comes out on top, because otherwise it's just a crab pot and everybody's trying to stay on top and keep their heads above water. It's not very easy to do. So it can be an awful lot to deal with. Let's see. Do you play Heroes 4, Phixfox? I love Heroes 4. Heroes 4 is some of the best storytelling of any game I've ever played. I love Heroes of Might and Magic 4 so very much. And I know that it was plagued with technical difficulties and there was issues in its development cycle and things like that, but it's got a very, very special place in my heart. I do love it, tremendously so. My hope is that as I get rid of not Falgar, Vesper, is that as I complete more hero stuff, occasionally, just one day out of the blue, you all might see me play a Heroes of Might and Magic 4 map. because I love it that much. It just feels bad when I've got so much to do and so little time. I would love to play games all day. It's just not the way life is for me, and I don't think that would be good for me, by the way. I don't think it'd be good for me to be the kind of person that streams every single day or makes this like my job. This is a hobby, and I love so very, very much that I have the opportunity to share this hobby with you guys. So grateful for everything I'm given. Absolutely everything I'm given. Agar's going to stay right here because Jezebel's going to pop up in just 1 second. We are tough, but we're probably not the biggest, baddest guy you ever saw. What a weird rock formation. I love that. That's cool. We've got to get to Black Ridge. It's day 5. I think we can get there as long as we can get down through the south here. I guess single scenarios are good, Zens says, because you can start them without watching prior stuff. Dream Fauna single scenarios are good for overestimating how long it'll take you to beat a map. Not too many trader routes for the campaigns. Underestimating getting into Heroes 2 or 3 made me like Heroes 4 less, actually. And that's fair, too. Especially, we've talked at times about why do you play Heroes of Might and Magic? Is it for the strategic gameplay or is it for the story? Oh, that's bad. If you play it more for the strategic gameplay, I think that Heroes 3 is probably the best in a lot of people's books. I am always going to prefer to play Heroes 2 over Heroes 3. But it doesn't hurt my feelings when people say that Heroes 3 is the real deal. And I think that the strategic gameplay in Heroes 4 is a little bit lacking. Not a lot, but it's a little bit lacking. And that kind of hurts my heart just a little bit because the storytelling is, again, some of the very best in any game I've ever played. Its design is just so flawed in comparison. Chris says, I asked because it's not looked on very good entry. It's not looked on as a very good entry in the series. With mods, though, it's all pretty much fixed. I've never played it with any mods, and I've still enjoyed it just in the base game. Streaming almost every day is a giant chore. It's not really worth it. Vamp says, I'm also really not a fan of how Night needs a lot of wood and ore. Definitely. But the ore and wood mines are quite far from your castle, so on Impossible, you basically only have your starting forces to fight with, and then you are basically dependent on what the Sorceress player has when you take them over. You're totally right. And we did actually see a lot of that in this scenario here, where we didn't get our ore or our wood for a long, long time. And that's rough. But not so much for Warlocks than anybody else, because if you go to your Warlock castle, gold, a little bit of ore, and we started with the crypt, by the way. So then after we already have the cave and the crypt, it costs gold, gems, and sulfur for the rest of our buildings, and then a little bit of ore for the green tower. But we didn't need ore until later. We ignored this sawmill, we ignored this ore mine in the upper right corner until we got everything else. And for the Warlocks, you can do that, but for everybody else, you can't do that. Or at least you better not. You probably don't want to do that. So yeah, starting off with just your forces, Vamp, I hear that loud and clear. Heroes 3 has better storytelling than 2, but otherwise I also prefer the gameplay. Prefer 2 gameplay-wise. I agree with that in a lot of ways. Better storytelling. Better storytelling. Let me think about that. Does it have better storytelling? I think one of the things that the FHeroes2 team is doing is making sure that the editor is going to have scripts available. And the use of scripts for storytelling goes a long, long way towards improving the gameplay. I think that you're absolutely correct, and I think that that is something that's going to change pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited for that. I think that's going to be an excellent change when we have the ability to script in some additional storytelling events. Rialdo's a little bit tough. We're going to defeat him, though. And we're going to fight this fight even better than the AI did. Other than the Black Dragons, we don't have much of a fighting force. But if we can take this other Warlock castle before the beginning of the new week, we're going to be feeling A-okay. Priority targets is Black Dragons and then the Vampire Lords. I would love to take out all the Vampire Lords right now so they don't get the opportunity to drain tank. It's not going to be the best thing for me. We're just going to start. I could slow, but then I think Rialdo only has 3 spell points. If he doesn't have a haste, well, he's a necromancer, so he starts off with haste. If he didn't have a haste, I would just slow these vampires. I would. What we're going to do is this. We got to cast a spell because we don't have any other 6-speed creatures. We're going to start Disrupting Ray. even one little bit of disrupting ray is going to go a long, long way for us. Let's hopefully kill 2 black dragons here. 6. Oh, with good luck, let's kill 4. Yeah. 1,400 damage. Get out of my game. I don't ever want to see you around these parts ever again. Don't even talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to my children. Leave me alone. Heroes Chronicles is peak storytelling. I've never played it, but I'm looking forward to doing that at some point. Heroes Chronicles follows, I think, Tarnum, which is from Heroes 4, some of that storytelling. I'm really excited to get into that at some point. So I'm all for it. We're going to continue to cast these disrupting rays. One more here. Hopefully we kill all the vampires. We killed most of them. It's pretty good. And that's basically Heroes 3. I like the underground maps that work side by side with the overground maps in Heroes 3. I think that that's totally reasonable. And I think, and Zens, if you're still here, just know that he meant well by it. Steeson might have said something that maybe he wasn't supposed to say about it. I love Steeson. He is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I hope that he was supposed to say what he said. Anyway, who knows? About there being maybe some elements of Heroes 4 adapted into Heroes 2 with the use of the thematic elements of transporting gates and such. Maybe he was reading into some of the work that Push Pop has been doing for the FHeroes2 game, where he's adding maybe some additional teleporters. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but all the same, pretty interesting stuff. I'm always excited to see what's going to come next for the FHeroes2 project. I like the underground maps. Yep, Heroes Might Magic 2 doesn't have that, which is a shame. Yep, I definitely agree. And then Dream Fauna, yeah, having the underground in some Heroes 3 maps is great for adding depth of strategy. Totally. And just kind of lengthening out a map. The use of the liths does a good job in making big maps feel smaller, more navigationable. That's totally not a word, but you know what I'm saying. Navigable, perhaps, is a correct term. And I would like to see, I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more with some of those just nifty, fun things that could be. I'm not saying that it has to be. The game is great as it is, but the fact of the matter is that the FHeroes2 team has my respect and appreciation, and I think that they could do some pretty nifty stuff. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. We're going to surrender so we can save 5 black dragons. There's no sense in fighting Ector there. We already know he has 10 attack, 9 defense. Yeah, no sense in fighting that. Also, Warlocks can cast Screw with you with 10 spell power, so they don't need as many units, while Might factions can't benefit from Might without troops. Yeah, especially for the Knights on a map like this. Magic is the great equalizer. I've mentioned before, and I'll say it again, if you don't have magic, it feels like you're playing checkers while your enemy is playing chess. And that doesn't feel very good. It adds a full nother dynamic layer of the game. And I would love to, and I love the spells so very, very much. But that's part of the reason I think that the Price of Loyalty campaigns actually had so much Barbarian versus Knight action, because a lot of the spell casting was really featured in the Secession Wars. Price of Loyalty, it does less of that, and it makes you fight the fights more tactically, which I think is kind of nifty. Maybe they did that on purpose, and maybe they didn't. But it's still interesting to me all the same. We didn't hire him back. We surrendered with 5 black dragons. I got busy talking, and we didn't hire our hero back. Phixfox, you can't talk and play at the same time. But we can have a real good time regardless. Anyway, I digress. As a quick, quick aside here, I think it's time to drop the Hydras. They're just gonna defend these castles for us. We're gonna take the rest of these other troops though, and move everybody but the Hydras down, and try our very, very best to clear out these back ends. I don't want enemies to get behind me. I want to keep everybody in front of me. And I want to get it down to where there's only a few heroes that we have to contend with. So that way I don't mess up and lose a castle where I ought not to have, or lose a town where I ought not to have. We are kind of doing this pincer attack from the north to the south here. We're going to clear out this whole corner, and then we know that the big bad evil guy Ector is over here. This map is quickly drawing to a close if I can logistically finish this off. Tell you what though, having an extra 5 black dragons would have made it a lot easier to do that. I'm just saying. Come on, Phixfox. I'm not gonna let that go. I'm not gonna let that go. I'm gonna have to start making my own maps in FHeroes2, Dream Fauna says. Do it. I am loving the FHeroes2 community already. They're doing some wonderful maps. And in the Discord, I guess Sins could tell you, in the Discord, they do have several good maps already there, and more soon to follow, I'm sure. They do take quite some time to make maps. Good maps take time, and I think we all understand that. But always very, very nice to see more maps in the pool there. Make some real weird stuff and just send it to some of you people with no explanation. Yeah, if it's not called Heroes of Might and Magic 2, don't forget the Sickle Magic spells, totally. Oh, by the way, Wizard's Isle and FHeroes2, that was some messed up stuff too. Took me all night to beat. Vamp says, oh no, not the 5 black dragons. Too bad, you only have enough gold. You could just buy the enemy. I could just buy the enemy. Could you imagine if I just said, hey, I've got 200,000 gold. Do you just want to call it? And they just say, yeah, we surrender. That'd be pretty funny. Dream Fauna, I just remembered it. Let's see. Gonna affect your score though? It will affect my score. Yeah. I've stopped playing for time though a little bit. We did on stream a little while ago. We did do Pyramid, and we were not. I billed it as if we were trying to get the all-time record on Pyramid. We gave up on that pretty quickly. FHeroes2 plays very differently than the original Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold does. And so getting the world record on that is just not feasible. There's some mechanics that aren't lending themselves well to speedruns. Oops. Things like, for example, you can't rehire a hero and then they start off with full movement points again. You have to hire them and then they just have to suffer for a little while. I have to make a decision. Can Agar defeat this hero? I think so. I don't think I need to send Agar over here any further. I think I can double back. And so some of the FHeroes2 features, you know, make it a little bit difficult to speedrun, but in general, I don't like the speedrun. I don't play Heroes of Might and Magic for the top score. I play because it's a relaxing, enjoying game. In fact, the most stress I have when I'm playing Heroes of Might and Magic, the most stress I have is when I'm doing this and when I'm streaming and I'm trying to keep one eye on the chat and talk and play at the same time. That's probably the most stressful. But it's fine because I enjoy the streaming. I enjoy spending time with people. So don't feel like you guys are a burden. I'm thrilled to have you here. So, but really, I don't play for the sweat. I play for the enjoyment. And isn't that what we all do? I'd like to think so. We're going to do damage where we can. I think that we're just going to fly over the battlements. We're going to take lots of damage with these phoenixes. I don't really care. It'll be fine. Let's see. Speedrunning is kind of meh. I saw a Heroes 3 speedrun once. It just looked like kind of exploitish. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that we can all agree that Heroes of Might and Magic 3 in general is a little bit exploitish if you're going to play it at like a really high level. I think that Seth, the video creator, hey people, Seth here, I think that he said it best, actually. When it comes down to Heroes of Might and Magic, he talks about how magic is broken and you got to find a way for your bullshit strategy to beat your opponent's bullshit strategy. And a lot of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 kind of feels that way. Heroes 2 feels more like a chess game where all the pieces are on the board and you know how things are going and you can strategically overwhelm your opponent. Heroes 3 does feel a little bit more about beating stuff, beating the strategies. One of the ways you will probably hear me say things is I talk about Heroes 3 being more of a knowledge check. Because if you don't know some certain weird esoteric bit of knowledge about a certain strategy or spell or something like that, you're gonna lose. And that feels bad. It just feels bad. I don't like losing because I didn't know that the Badge of Courage has an unspoken, unwritten mechanic where you will end up not taking effect from mind-influencing spells. That's a hidden mechanic that's nowhere stated in the artifact, but it's game-changing if you can get it. If you can get it. And so, you know, things like that, it makes me like it a little bit less, but overall it's still a very wonderful, enjoying game, and I am having a lot of fun enjoying the game. So, in case anybody's wondering, I am also doing Heroes 3 I'm doing it less often than I am. Oh my gosh. Less often than I'm doing Heroes 2, but having a fun time with it. Did you guys see that? Oh my gosh. So there was 14 bone dragons. We disrupting raid them. The anti-magic doesn't matter. We attack them with the black dragons. We get the good luck for the double damage. We get attacked by the cyclopes. Oh no, they did 242 damage. But then we get good luck a second time. We just took out their 2 biggest stacks. That was quite the fortuitous circumstance, folks. That is a game winner right there. That feels so good. Love every second of that. We're gonna use the dragons to attack both these creatures. Yeah, this is going very well. Can you feel the excitement in the air? I can feel the excitement. I play Heroes of Might and Magic for the big 4D chess moves I end up having to make. Yeah, and those moments are really exciting when you do have those 4D moments where you really have something exciting happen. 3 instances of good luck on these black dragons. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. That is so good. So good, folks. That was a massive fight. We had no business doing as well with that fight as we did, but we took that to the enemy and just right down their throats. That was so good. That feels good. Yeah. And then Vamp is saying, I'm down to see some real weird stuff. Ghost Planet was a surreal experience, and I know some may find it an unorthodox map and therefore wouldn't like it, but that's really what I liked about it. It was crazy. Ghost Planet is my all-time favorite map. I'm so glad that you're saying that, and it really is. It is my all-time favorite map. And I do actually have, as we see Ector, and we're going to bow out gracefully, we do have a playthrough on YouTube of Ghost Planet. I did break my rule. I usually don't use not Disrupting Array. I usually don't use Town Portal or Dimension Door. I did for Ghost Planet because on FHeroes2, on a possible difficulty, the beginning is just a little bit broken. It takes some very certain circumstance to really win. And I usually use the pyramids to the far east in the desert near Anabang to get a little bit of an advantage. So, excellent map though, one of my all-time favorites. Vamp, very glad to hear that you enjoy it just as well. Seth knows all the exploits for all the games he plays, lol. Here's my magic and sometimes might if you're really unlucky. Yeah, that's more of Seth's reviews. That guy just does some good stuff. I really appreciate how unapologetic he is about his humor and the things that he enjoys. Makes me very, very happy. All these necromancers are pretty much in the bottom right corner. We're doing okay and kind of corralling them in. We're doing the best we can anyway. Alteris 1 and 2, really strange set of maps, loved it, felt very unofficial, but it was very unique. Dream, yeah, I agree with that. Heroes of Armageddon, yeah. Oh, that too, definitely, but the theming on Ghost Planet as a sci-fi adventure is what made it S tier for me. Is Ghost Planet included a map of Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Gold? It absolutely is, yeah. Go check it out. It's a wonderful map, one of my all-time favorites again, and hopefully, I feel bad if I recommend something and then you are not very impressed with it, but I think it's pretty good. So I hope you get the opportunity to just go and check it out. It's a real good time. We are blending these armies. I am going to even take the very slow Hydras on the road. Let's see, 6 speed, 7 speed, 4 speed, 6 speed, 2 speed. Do I really want the speed? No, I think that we have enough Minotaur Kings here to make that worth my time. Agar is just going to have to retreat very, very quickly, far, far away from the enemy, as Crodo tries to hold on these black dragons just one more time. Ector backed off instead of taking that castle. A little bit interesting. I'll go play tomorrow then. Yeah, go check it out. I'd be very interested to see you play, especially for a first-time playthrough. It can be a little bit weird, a little bit rough, but it's a very interesting map. Charles Watkins. And Charles Watkins did a lot of good maps. I think, was it Charles Watkins or Timothy Duncan that did Colossal Caverns? I think Colossal Caverns was Charles Watkins, if that gives you any indication about what you can expect. This big map, this sprawling adventure. Very enjoyable in my opinion. So yeah, go check it out. And let me know how you like it. I'm always interested to hear if my recommendations turn out good or sour. We are trying our very best to keep our priorities away from the enemies and still be effective. We've got all these troops trying to get resupply to the front. We're doing the best we can, but this is a little bit of a struggle. I'm going to wait overnight. There's going to be 3 more black dragons here. That might be the difference between a win and a loss. So we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. And then I think I think we're gonna press into the purple enemy pretty soon. I see 4 purple heroes on the map. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ector's the big one. Gonna use Identify Hero here. 10 attack, 12 defense. You know what? He's only got 6 black dragons. I think it's time. I think it's time that we put a fork in this one, people. It's been a fun one, but I think that if we defeat Ector right here with Crodo, who has 9 attack, 7 defense, 17 spell power, 19 knowledge, I think that we obliterate Purple's main fighting force. Ector being level 18, 10 attack, 12 defense, 5 spell power, 3 knowledge, 30 spell points. And he's going to have 13 bone dragons, 11 cyclopes, 6 black dragons, 10 vampire lords, and 37 power liches. Not easy at all. But folks, this is going to be the fight. And a win here spells victory for us. You are forced to suffer a bitter defeat and Crodo abandons your cause. Not unexpected. Let's see if we can turn this loss into a victory. Let's see. Yeah, there's no maps that you don't like, just some that are less interesting than others, things like that. I was so invested in Ghost Planet, the story and theming. Actually had a redemption arc after chasing the barrel mounds the whole game. I decided not to recruit them when eventually I got access to the mound. Yeah, and those are the story moments that we live for, so I'm all for it. I know exactly what you're saying. Okay, we do have Summon Earth Elemental. So for 51 Earth Elementals at a time, we're not going to lose this scenario. Not to mention, so we're going to win. We're going to win. Because at the very worst, we have Resurrect True and Summon Earth Elemental. We can continually summon Earth Elementals until we overwhelm our enemy, and then Resurrect True at the very, very end. We can always do that. Should I start that now, or is there a better spell to cast? I think we can do better. I think we can do better. I think that we'll go for that strategy in just a moment if we need to. But for now, I think I just want to Disrupting Ray these bone dragons, get them down to 18 defense skill, so I'm doing a little bit of reduced damage to them. And just start working on them. I think so. I wonder where they're going to cast Dispel Magic. They cast a blind. Did not expect that at all. That was completely unexpected. Unfortunately, their black dragons are going to go before mine. We're not doing a lot of damage here, are we? Yeah, that's something anyway. 3 bone dragons go down. Why go into a defensive position? I need Zens to explain that one to me. I don't think that 37 power liches are your win condition. I don't think that they are your win condition. And that makes me a little bit sad to see. A little sad to see. Okay. Cyclopes are going to do a little bit of damage, not that much. Yeah, black dragons are going to start to get absolutely enveloped. Let's do some double hex attacks here, though. And are we primed for a meteor shower or something else? You know what? Just the raising of a couple phoenixes, 5, that's worth my time. Yeah, that's worth some damage there to me. Power liches, 10 black dragons only did 241 damage to power liches. This attack and defense that we have to go through is really pretty significant. Pretty significant. Again, we're going to win, but not the easiest thing I've ever seen. Let's not hurt our phoenixes. Oh no. I always mess that up and I step off of the creatures when I don't want to. That's unfortunate. Power liches get an unchallenged shot there. I think an anti-magic is not my best bet. Disrupting Ray on the bone dragons? No. You do a mass cure, get multiple troops that they apparently want to blind into the fight. Let's just do the mass cure, and we'll see what the enemy responds with. I don't know what they're going to respond with as far as spells go here, but I'm excited to find out. Again, watching out for our double hex attack, and I have to stay on these liches. I hate to waste a round of offensive firepower, but it does feel like the very, very best thing for me. Okay, beginning of a new fight or a new day. I'm just gonna resurrect. Just gonna resurrect. And then I'm gonna get the phoenixes out of the way. Good luck. Let's go, baby. Double damage. Those 2 black dragons, and you can already see that we are definitely where we want to be. Unfortunately, you cannot resurrect True the black dragons. That's one of the reasons why in the debate of Titans versus Black Dragons, which is the best all-time unit. I think that there is more. I think that there is more debate than people like to admit, because you can't resurrect true Black Dragons. You can totally resurrect true Titans. Just saying. And that has to count for something. That has to count for something. Folks, though, even though our enemy is run, they're going to mount whatever defense they possibly can. It's not going to be enough. We are going to be unstoppable. We're going to have troops. We're just going to have everybody converge on this point and try and play containment. Let's keep the enemy from running. Let's be smart about this. Let's not overextend. But unless they have some really massive army somewhere that I am not aware of, I don't think that we have much to worry about. We are even going to bring the 16 Hydras. It's going to take a while to get here, but we're going to be there. It's going to be just fine. Ari is doing more of his work. Let's see. I'm going to have him step into this area. He can't defeat their main hero that we just beat, but he can probably give any other castle a big run for its money. Lord Kilburn? I don't think Lord Kilburn has a chance. Let's double check though. We do have the Identify Hero. Might as well use it. Level 1 hero, 2 attack, 2 defense. Yeah. This should be a win. I don't want to lose the Black Dragon. Let's lose anybody else, and let's use some of these nice spells that we have, because we do have some nice spells here on Ari. We do. Blind's not going to help. Well, in that case, then nothing's really going to help. I'm just going to hit Q. I don't care. I'm going to lose the Black Dragon. I'm just going to save me the time. I'm going to save you the time. Phixfox, why are you not fighting this fight as if it's your last fight? Well, I think that we've pretty much broken the enemy, and I think that we just need to just wheel this one in at this point. It's not a guarantee by any means, but I think that we got this in hand. Yeah, Ector now is going to get obliterated. We're going to kill 3 heroes here. There's 1. There's 2. And here's 3. Yeah. And the enemy is very quickly quitting the field without any recourse. We see 1 purple hero, 2 purple heroes. That's probably Ector trying to go back. Wow, they just, look at that. Look how many heroes they just purchased there. All of them trying to escape like rats on a ship. We're going to defend this Necromancer Castle. I just don't want to give it up. This Necromancer Castle is free. Zom is dead. And then let's head back towards the top. Take it away. Take it away, Ernie. Okay. I've ignored the chat for a moment just because I needed to use all my brain power right there. I think that my brain power is officially in a good spot. Okay. Playing containment here. We'll defeat Karlon with literally anybody else. It's your job now. You. Who are you? Alamar? It's your job. Let's pick up Phoenixes. And just go. Just go. As fast as you can. With 6-speed creatures or higher. We're going to go into this area so that way we just don't have to track that hero down. After we do defeat purple though, we are going to need to defeat yellow. So somehow yellow is going to be the last person standing. That's really kind of weird, but it is the way it is. Dimitri, these guys, let's go here. We've scared off Ector enough. Ector might get the Black Ridge. Nope, Ector turns north towards the Barbarian Castle. Yes, and they are all going to the same area. Perfect. Perfect. They're lining up for me like bowling pins, so that's wonderful. It's not really like any maps I hate, and some are just so hard it makes you question why you're even here. I was so invested in Ghost Planet. Okay, let's see. This 1996 game really had me asking myself if I'm ready to recruit ghosts and give up my humanity. That is good storytelling, and that is what we're all for. So I hear that loud and clear, so loud and clear. We are definitely on the same page. Enemy goes down there. We need to chase down Ector. Ares going to chase in this direction. Alamar in this direction. Jezebel is going to continue to bring troops down. Agar is going to see, he's going to defeat Myra. I don't think I can defeat Ector. We'll try. Yeah, too much to handle there. And I'm actually going to hit auto combat here and just let this fight develop for me. Do I have anti-magic? If I have anti-magic, this actually might be what changes this whole fight up. I don't have anti-magic. Let's do... Tell you what, let's just turn on auto spell casting and do this. That'll give me time to read. Nice use of the Death Ripple to remove the blind. Very, very nice move there. Way to go, AI. Very impressed. Vam says, it was also a greater part of my journey as a Hero Might Magic player since I've been consumed by the desire to use overpowered ghosts ever since my first encounter with them in Heroes of Might and Magic 1 way back when I was a small child. Yeah, being able to incorporate the souls of the dead into your army is kind of a nice thing. Meanwhile, I'm over here slaughtering thousands of peasants for my skeleton armies for the campaign. Dream Father says, just business as usual. Vamp says, see, I'd play with skeletons before, but ghosts were and are something mystical, definitely. Last fight is always quick combat. The Dream Fauna says, fair, my stacks are always so big that ghosts are the biggest fear. And Genies. Yeah, oh man, Genies are just gonna be so scary for you. We do defeat Ector there with Agar, so he did so wonderful for us. Good job to Ector. But yeah, between ghosts and Genies, I mean, those special troops are so overpowered. Could you imagine if those troops were in any way, shape, or form attached to some kind of faction? That'd be bad. That wouldn't be good. That would just be bad. Straight up bad. In every meaning of the word. Let's see. We're almost here. Falagar, just go here. Oh, purple does have one more castle there. We need to take out Titans and a horde? Look at that, a horde of black dragons. Are you kidding me? No. We're gonna go the long way. We're gonna go to these stone lifts, wherever those may be, because I have no interest in finding a horde of black dragons. No, I don't care how tough your hero is. That's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea. Gosh. And I am all for being very thorough and completing maps 100%. No. This isn't the time. Even though we just defeated purple, there is still yellow we have to conquer in this one place. Where is this stone lift? Do you guys remember? Did anybody help me out? Is it in the very middle? I'm looking for a stone lift that looks like this. Oh wait, is it a horde of black dragons? Sure, if you want to spend another month on this map. I don't. It's got to be in the center, doesn't it? Because I've been there before. Falagar was there. Funny enough. And that lift takes you over there. Ah, there it is. That's the final stone lift. And that one's gonna be the end for us. There's no guarantee that we just straight out win with Crodo here, but it seems fairly reasonable. Never mind, it is, because we have so much spell points, and we always have the ability to use our Resurrect True and our Earth Elementals. In fact, I'm just going to show you the strategy that I was talking about there as we fight this final fight. We could probably beat the Horde of Black Dragons with that strategy. I just don't want to try it. I'm just going to show you what I mean here. It's going to say we lose. No, it says we win. I'm just going to do it anyway. This is going to be, let's see, 28, 29 Black Dragons. When you're summoning 51 Earth Elementals at a time, kind of hard to lose. Kind of hard to lose. Also, when you have all this extra attack skill and defense skill. Oh, unicorns are going down. Oh no, they're not. Oh good. I'm very glad. But even if this was an overwhelming fight, we'd still be just fine. I do believe. Okay. There, we get the double hex attack. Not bad. Unicorns are going to do their damage. It's not much, but it's something. And we're just going to keep summoning the elementals. Because why not? Why not? So folks, I hope that you've appreciated... well, no, I misspoke. I appreciate you being here. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. There we go. I hope you appreciate me. No, that's not where I was going with that. I appreciate you, and I hope that you've enjoyed yourself today. This has been a really fun, little interesting map. This is going to be about a 4-hour endeavor. And overall, I mean, this has not been without its twists and turns. Vamp, I will do my very, very best to take a look at this map as a night player. Usually I spend about 4 hours streaming when I do stream. Depending on how quickly we finish this up, I might just give the first couple of days over to that. We'll see. one other thing I've thought about that I would like to try and do is I would like to try and always look at the maps after we've completed them. Again, I do blind playthroughs, and if I don't do a blind playthrough, I will let you know, hey, by the way, I've already played this map before. But then after the scenario is over, it's sometimes worthwhile to look at the map in the original Heroes 2 Gold map editor and just kind of see the way that the map lays, you know, kind of just check the lay of the land. It wasn't until I did that for the scenario for Slayer Legacy that I realized I missed a whole story point. I missed a whole plot point in the upper right corner, and I'm sorry that I stopped you from enjoying that, but it was very interesting. Go check it out yourself when you get the chance. Folks, that was Yellow Player being vanquished. This is not going to be one of my all-time high scores, but it was fun. It was a good playthrough. I enjoyed it very, very much. 111 days. That's going to be the rank of a genie. You can see where that lands in my all-time high scores. That would be below Vikings. So we've still got an awful long way to go before we're able to get everything into at least the 300 range, but you have to beat at least a 234 in order to get into my top scores. So I appreciate everybody here saying GG. Yep, GG to everybody. That was a nice, fun playthrough there. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Usually I stream for way too long. Oh, also a bit unrelated, but when the Phoenix's champions have haste applied and gain 7+2 speed, the game calls it instantaneous, and I imagine it as those units using instant transmission. We're back. We're back. Are we back? Are we back? I think we're back. Cut off mid-sentence. Yeah, sorry, my apologies there. Stream dropped. Only the second time in the stream, so we are doing something right. That's better. But just talking about, oh, instantaneous, yeah. The game calls it instantaneous for the 7-speed creatures when they get hasted, and I imagine those units as being instant transmission for Dragon Ball Z. I find it funny, yeah. Just they appear right behind you. I'm not good at Japanese, but Ome wa unshinde nani? And then you're just dead. Yeah, I know that that's a different cartoon, a different anime, but still makes me think of that every time. Feels like it was a good length. After that, personally, I start to run out of energy. GG. Whoops, GG. Yep, I cut out mid-sentence. My apologies. We're back. Oh, we back, baby. We back. I wish I had that leaderboard. I keep wiping my game installs. I know that feeling. And I was worried when I first was playing FHeroes2 that when I updated the patch, I was worried that from patch to patch, it wouldn't keep my high scores, but it does. So I'm grateful it does that. Let's, real quick, I'm just going to jump right back in to that playthrough, because I do just want to do the first, we're going to do the first week of the night playthrough. I don't have time to do the full map, but where were we? What did we just do? Black Forest? We just did Black Forest, and this time we're going to play as the Knights, and just take a look at this. Still on impossible difficulty. We're not going to read the flavor text. I don't have time for flavor text, but yeah, you start out with Ambrose, and these troops are not nearly as good as the Hydras and the other creatures that the Warlock started off with. So this is a little bit of a worst case scenario. Think let's just keep the 7-speed creatures with us and just explore with them. We will keep just one of the Cavaliers. I hate to split them up, but I think that you gotta get a nice fast start. You gotta take the gold over the experience. Ambrose is probably not gonna be our primary hero. Tomorrow we can get another hero. Let's explore along this road. Anytime you can go along a road, you're probably going to do best for yourself because you're going to get more movement points. We're up to like 40 something, 4,000 gold. You can pick up Tyro. Maybe that's the best thing you can say about the night start, though, is that you have these 7-speed creatures that can help you explore pretty quickly. I mean, who else gets that advantage, you know? So I'm just going to head this way. That gold mine is so close, but it's not useful for you. You're totally right. You need the wood and you need the ore. You need the wood, you need the ore. Otherwise you can't, you know, build anything, because you need blacksmith, armory. So you need 10 wood, 10 ore, 5 ore, 20 wood. Yeah, there's no way. No way. This one's super tough on impossible difficulty. Knight's the worst faction, but still fun to play. You're going to get robbed on this road. Am I really? Oh no. I need to dash. Chris, grab the shower, head to bed. Hey, catch you next time, Phixfox. Catch you next time, Chris. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Observation tower, let's see. So you got some gold, you got a little bit of wood, but not enough. Yeah, so you don't want to go up further up this road. You really do want to turn around. There's wood here. I wonder if this wood is here from playthrough to playthrough. just to throw the Knights of Bone? I feel like it's got to, right? It's got to. Maybe I'm wrong, though. As we go up this road, though, a little bit more gold. And then I'm guessing that the sawmill is down over here because we haven't found one yet. Let's just have... Oh, which is going to be better? Bless or Curse? I think that the Bless spell is actually going to be the best thing for us. Let's take the Sorceress, and then she's going to take all these troops for us. 16 Sprites is definitely better than 90 Peasants. Gives you a little bit of extra flexibility there. So she's going to head down. We're going to see... We already have Dwarves to deal with. Real quick, I'm just going to skip on the Sprite's turn, and then... I'm going to skip on the Sprite's turn, and then I'm going to hit end turn. So let's just do it like that. Yeah, and then we don't lose any Sprites. 460 experience there. Wood is always there, yes. They don't give you the ore, though. Yeah, and if you don't have the ore, you're not getting your swordsman. And so you're struggling. Immediately, you're struggling. And down here... Yeah, that's your sawmill? That's so far to go. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. Genies, yeah, but that's not gonna really help. You got campfires. You have to get lucky on a campfire in order to get the gems. We're at day 5. Just getting the lay of the land. This feels so bad. And we went the wrong way to get the sawmill, because you need some troops here. You could potentially split your troops. If it's just going to be dwarves, you could split your crusaders, and you could probably do a little bit of damage, get a little bit lucky. You could you'd have to do that. I think you'd have to split your troops. Okay, but your sawmill and your ore is right here. We're gonna grab this observation tower just so I can plan better. Okay, so you're gonna want to go up the road all the way around. You're gonna want to pick up all this. And you could probably pick that up by day 2. I don't think that you're gonna get as much value of going up this road as other factions would. I think you guys just take those troops immediately, get these 2 opportunities, and maybe you even hope that this is going to be a nice castle, something you can invest in, like a warlock or a wizard castle. Town, but eventually castle. That'd be what I would think. You don't get pikemen without ore. Yeah, I'm head out too. Thanks for the stream. Be seeing you. Hey, thanks, Dream. Appreciate your time. So that's what I'd recommend. That was just basically the first week. Just looking at this from the night section. Vamp, I will take a look and I will see. I'll give this a playthrough, but on impossible difficulty, this is definitely going to be a challenge. So we will see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And then the last thing I did want to do, just really quickly, is I did want to check into my Heroes2 and just see about that extra little bit. I just want to see about the map editor for Heroes2, just to see if there's anything extra special there. After I play through, I don't mind looking back. I'd like to keep my playthroughs blind, but it is what it is, so be it. Okay, that was a large map. It's Black Forest. Let me tab out and then do this. Okay. So this is just the map editor from Heroes Might and Magic 2. And are there any special surprises? Is there anything very interesting? Everybody's got a genie lamp. So glad to have an expert player that I can maybe learn from. Dude, I high praise. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate all that time. Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. That's high praise. It's a head scratcher, but I constantly amount to find out more. You know, and not every game do I feel like it's valuable to really invest a lot of time in. But this game I do. Look at this. Yellow is actually tough. Folks, look at this. Yellow actually has some significant advantages in this game. Yellow is actually a big deal. But in our playthrough, they didn't get any leverage. They got defeated by, you know, maybe it was the Necromancers, maybe it was the Knights, maybe it was the Sorceresses. But these 2 heroes are actually pretty darn good. we lucked out. We didn't actually have to face those heroes. And it felt like we only had to deal with these random towns here and here. But instead, somebody else defeated lots of rogues and some grand elves. And rogues and grand elves. Very, very interesting. And that's probably where these nomad boots came from. There's a radius of 6 squares. This is more or less, I guess, not meant to go out and defeat you, but to keep you away from the treasure. But that is a very interesting surprise. Very, very cool to find. Very cool to see. I'm not seeing any other special things here, but that alone was worth the price of admission just to check this out. So very cool. Very cool. Yeah, yellow never came up whenever I tried this map. Okay, and that would be why when you click on them, it says that they have to patrol within a radius of 6 squares. So they are simply here as guardians of this cache of resources and treasure in the very center. Very interesting. Okay, so hopefully that was exciting for you. If you have Heroes 2 Gold or if you have FHeroes2, it's always fun to look at these maps and just see what other extra fun stuff is in there. I always sure do enjoy spending the time. But folks, I also appreciate spending the time with you here today. Again, my name is Phixfox. Thanks for the good vibes. Thanks for the energy. Look after you. Look after your friends. Look after your family. I will plan on seeing you in the next one. Until then, take real good care. And thanks for everybody who was brand new. And thanks for everybody that's been here. We'll see you around. Thanks so much, Vamp.